Welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting the suggested guide for Japanese literacy. Self-study stream on for the memorized courses that I posted. Okay, so let's make sure the audio is working on YouTube. This is Nuke Marine. Alright, audio is working. Let's go over here. Nobody's watching, which is fine. Not now. Alright, so again, just like yesterday, our first part of the stream is going to be myself just going into Tai Kim's lessons. Currently, I got up to 3 lessons yesterday. Don't know how many I can do today. Again, some of his lessons are longer than others, so I can't really give a definite timeline of how this is going to work. Overall, it should be fine. Okay, let's see. Got there. Got coffee. Okay, cool. All right, and I guess what I need to make sure is posted here, but I need to get the archives of the previous stream. I'll start posting those as well. I'll post it all as its own little video series. So just like I did for kanji, I'll do it for the grammar, and I might even do one for vocabulary if I decide I want to go back and try to redo part 1, since I've already got part 2 and I will be getting part 3 done for vocabulary. Neither here nor there. That's just, again, something I'll do in the future. Think about doing at least. Because again, that would be, if I did that though, it'll end up being like 20 hours of production stuff that doesn't really make me better in Japanese. I mean, and again, I don't know how much benefit people will get out of seeing out of the vocabulary versus, you know, I can definitely see me going over the grammar, even though it's literally is me reading. Let's see, grammar guide. You know, it literally is just me reading off of a web page and then typing some stuff. But if it does prove useful, so be it. Again, I see the grammar part being a lot more useful than vocabulary. All right. So with that said, I guess we can start beginning. Then after the stream, the grammar streams are done, it'll be about an hour. I'll do this for about a couple hours or whatnot. I'll then roll back and try to start getting back in these 200 or so reviews that I had left over from yesterday. Okay, and also I think what I'm trying to do from change my daily routine is to, instead of just watching Japanese TV, which normally I just have it like on NHK or something, or some other broadcasting channel. I think what I'll do is just have Netflix and just pick a, you know, either a TV show or whatnot, and just have it playing and let it just keep playing. Just turn the volume up so it's a lot more distracting, and that way I can maybe get, again, just something while I go about my daily stuff. And again, that's something that you have to understand as a Japanese learner, is putting more and more Japanese in your life. You know, again, read Japanese books, watch Japanese TV shows, and something. It's easy to not do that. It is so easy to not do that, because a lot of the fun stuff you understand is in your native language. But yeah, you need to get into getting fun stuff that's in Japanese, and then keep consuming more and more of it. The more you consume, the better you're going to get. That's as easy as that's the only easiest way I can stress that. Now that doesn't mean, but again, you can slowly get into it. Like at first, it could just be you're watching it with English subtitles, and then watch it again without subtitles if you want to. What are some other good ways? But yeah, same with the little books, and maybe start with manga or whatnot, or have a translation, then kind of look over the Japanese and look at the translation. Basically have like go to a web page that supports both the raw version and the translated version of the manga, and it's, you know, read one page in English and read it again in Japanese. You know, just make it easier on yourself early on, and then soon you get to where you don't need to have that English part. It's difficult, but you can still do the Japanese part on its own, and then later on it's just Japanese is almost not an issue, except for the occasional words or phrases that throw you for a loop. Okay. With that, I guess I could get started. Let's see. Go to Tai Kim Part 4. So we'll be here, and we'll be here at Tai Kim's Grammar Guide. Alright, so the time is now, and like I said, if you are watching, feel free to make comments, and in fact, let me make sure. I did put the notice on. Let's see if they pinned it. They haven't pinned it. Oh, let me go and ask that message. Hi Max, I'm about to. Okay, I think I'm in the right. Make sure I'm in general, yeah. Okay. Yeah, what they did yesterday, they posted, but they never took the pin down for whatever reason. But yeah, I did post this right here. Also, I did post it in the Shitsu Monday thread, which is here. And finally, also yesterday, I think around here, I did a link, and there's about 90 views on the video. So again, it's not like super popular, but like again, I get the feeling that'll be one of those videos that just over time they'll be consistently be getting views over time, just because I'll spam it or whatever. I'll just remind people it's there, and I'll also be linking it into the lessons. Okay, with that said, I guess we can begin. Okay, so we'll go here. Alright, so this is TK04, or the lesson 4. It is 5 minutes 55 seconds. It is the 21st. And what was it? Yesterday was President's Day in the U.S. I didn't even realize. I guess for some people watching, today is President's Day. So this is the 21st here in Japan. Let's begin. And welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting the suggested guide for Japanese literacy. In this case, it's going to be a course number 4, which is Taekim's Guide to Japanese Grammar, part 1, which covers the basic lessons in his, or the lessons in his basic section of his Japanese grammar guide. Currently, we are on lesson 4, which is, so let's go to basic grammar. In basic grammar, we're going to be covering verb basics. Verb basics, roles of verbs, and of course, as always, before we get into the lesson proper, what we do is all the vocabulary that's in this section. So let's go to lesson 4, basic vocabulary. Okay, these are all done. So what I will do is preview. Alright, so it's just 8 words, so it shouldn't take too long. Let me go and get my pad out. Taberu. Alright. And again, verbs are great because they tell you how to make words do stuff. You know, we've already done with we can declare words, we can kind of describe them with adjectives. Now we want to do stuff with the words. So in this case, let's see. Taberu, to eat. Taberu, taberu. 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 And this is right here in the description, RU verbs. That'll come into clearly when we get into the description in Taekim and Taekim. I gotta apologize. Recently I listened to his video. He pronounced himself as Kim Tae, so I guess it is Taekim, not Tai. I've been pronouncing him as Taekim for the longest time. I don't know why. It was my thing. Taekim. Taberu. But taberu. All right, now and then the kanji for eat. Let's draw it. Or write it. Wrong one. Okay, let's get rid of that. And alright, taberu. Alright, so I'm going to do a little there. And eating under the umbrella, you want to eat with silverware. Taberu. Taberu. To eat. To eat something. Next. Iru. Iru. This is to exist. In fact, let's bring up. What I'm going to do is activate Rikai-kun or Rikai-chan. In this case, it's a... Alright, there we are. Iru, which is second entry. To be, to exist. Right? It could even mean to stay somewhere. Okay, Iru. Let's write it. Now there is a kanji for it, but it's normally written in hiragana only. Iru. Iru. To exist. For a living, animate thing to exist, like an animal or a person. Kau. Kau, to buy, to value, to have high opinion. Kau. And the verb or the kanji is buying. So again, it's like when I eye over, maybe Mr. Krabs eye over stuff with SpongeBob before he buys something. Kau. Kau. This is called a U verb or U verb. And again, that'll be explained in the lesson. Kau. 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 Aru. Aru. Now this is to be for an inanimate object, to exist or to live or to have. Could could also mean to have something. But aru.
ある
Aru. Aru. Okay. So we have iru for animate, aru for inanimate. Aru. Aru.
ある
Aru.
する
Suru. Now this is what's called an exception verb. There are a couple of exception verbs. There's suru and kuru. In other words, they conjugate a little bit differently than your other. You'll find it with Japanese conjugations are pretty structured or fairly structured very well. So it's easy. It's unlike English, which is there's exceptions to all these rules. In Japanese, there's like a couple of verbs that are the exceptions, and similar, kind of like in the previous lesson where e had an exception because it was based off on an older word called yoi. So that it was when you conjugate it, you conjugate it as if the word was yoi. Anyway, so suru.
するする
Suru, to do. To do. In fact, it is. Yes, the last entry there is suru. To do, to cause, to become, to make, to turn into. Suru, suru.
する
Let's write it. Suru. 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 Taberu, iru, kao, aru, suru. Okay. Next word.
来る
Kuru. And this again, another exception. Is exception based on how it's conjugated. Kuru. And again, here it means to come, to arrive, to approach.
来る
Kuru. All right, so it's and it's the kanji for to come. Kuru. All right, kuru. And yes, to come. That's the.
金
Kane, money.
金
Kane,
金
kane. And this is the kanji for gold. So it makes sense that it becomes kanji for money. So, kane. And usually you also hear in reference to money, okane, okane. Kane. Yeah, money or metal.
猫
Neko.
猫
Neko. And again, this is cat. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much cat. I don't see the other definitions seem very rare. Neko. Neko.
猫
Neko. All right. So again, that's the cat hiding from the pack of wild wolves or something, pack of wild dogs. So it sees a field of flowers right there to hide in. Something. Neko. Neko.
猫
Neko. All right, that's the last word. Okay, so fairly simple vocabulary. Now, in this section, there's actually a lot more vocabulary words. A lot more. All of them are verbs. Now, and I apologize, I don't have this set up so that I teach you a lot of verbs. And probably what would have been better if I did create some conjugation practices. Neither here nor there. It's just something to consider. And that's a failure on my part. However, Taikim does have pages for practicing conjugation. Same as he had pages for doing declaratives, past, present, negative, negative past, and also for adjective conjugations. So the same thing's going to happen with the adjectives, with the verbs. Okay, with that said, let's go next. Levels. Come here. All right, let's go to. All right. Now again, I do have the lesson here on the memorize course. However, I will be going off the Taikim's website itself. All right. So just 6 sentences. That should be very short, but I will be covering a lot more of the conjugations. Let's see. Alice wa teberu.
アリスは食べる
All right. So we'll worry about that when we get to it. All right. So here it is. Verb basics. Beginning of the lesson. Alright, so here again, there's a lot more vocabulary words here. A lot of this, the reason why I didn't include it is it will be here for verb practice and conjugation exercises, but it's not covered in the example sentences. So I didn't want to, again, give a lot of vocabulary words to learn when there weren't any example sentences to help illustrate it. When you get into the vocabulary course following this basic section, if you are following the Memorize course series, it will have a lot of vocabulary dealing with verbs. All right, and most of these words will be covered in there. Okay, we've now learned how to describe nouns in various ways with other nouns and adjectives. This gives us quite a bit of expressive power. However, we still cannot express actions. This is where verbs come in. Now, verbs in Japanese always come at the, I would say almost always come at the end of clauses. Or, okay, yeah, always comes at the end of clauses. Since we have not yet learned how to create more than one clause, for now it means that any sentence with a verb must end with the verb. We will now learn three main categories of verbs, and which will allow us to define conjugation rules. Before learning about verbs, there is one important thing to keep in mind. A grammatically complete sentence requires a verb only, including state of being. Okay, I don't know if this is true or not, I'm just reading what he says. Or to rephrase, unlike English, the only thing you need to make a grammatically complete sentence is a verb and nothing else. That's why even the simplest, most basic Japanese sentence cannot be translated into English. Grammatically complete sentence here. Taberu, eat. Tabe. Tabete kudasai, or something, please eat. Possible translation for me, I eat, she eats, they eat. Okay, so taberu, eat. Classifying verbs into either ru verbs or u verbs, or are you verbs, you verbs. Alright, before we can learn any verb conjugations, we first need to learn how verbs are categorized. With the exception of the two exception verbs, all verbs fall into either the category of are you verbs or you verbs. Sometimes you hear this described as group 1 verbs and group 2 verbs. All are you verbs end with the ru, while you verbs can end in a number of you vowels, including ru. Therefore, if a verb does not end in ru, it will always end with a u verb or a u verb. For verbs that end in ru, if the vowel sound preceding the ru is an a, u, o vowel sound, it will always be a u verb. Otherwise, if the preceding is an e or e vowel, it will be an ru verb in most cases. A list of common exceptions are at the end of this section. Alright, so some examples. Here we have is taberu, which is, and notice he's got this is a be, if you looked at it, this is a be or an e, this is a category of hiragana, and then this, so that makes this a ru verb. But here we have wakaru, so this is an a category of katakana, or I'm sorry, hiragana. So that makes this a, so ka, a, aru, karu. So this makes this a u verb. Okay, if you're unsure which category a verb falls in, you can verify it, what kind it is, with most dictionaries. There are two exception verbs that are not u verbs. Alright, so I'll show you why. So let's say if you're using Chrome and you got Rikai-chan, or you're using Firefox, you got Rikai-kun. If you download those applications and now you highlight, now you see right here we have taberu. You see V1, VT, to eat. So this is V1. This is group 1 verb. This is an RU verb. Now you have wakaru, V5R. So this is this is the U verb. So it tells you right there, if it says V5R, it's a U verb. If it says V1, it's a RU verb. Okay? And then the VT means transitive. It impacts another thing. It impacts an object. It basically it acts upon something. And VI means verb intransitive. It means it's being acted upon. It means it is acted upon itself or something. It's kind of like walking. You don't walk on. You could walk. Well, okay. Kind of like walking. You know, you don't do something to walk. It just is. So it's a intransitive verb. But eating, you would eat something, or you would kill something, or you will turn on something or turn off something. But something could be turned on, something could be turned off, something could be shut, something could be opened. That'll come into this part of the lesson as well. If you're unsure which category of verb, so again, we just said how to identify verbs. So anyway, here are some examples, and I'll go over each of these. So here are RU verbs. So iru, miru, iru. So it's an RU verb. Taberu, beru, eru. So it's an RU verb. Neru, to okay, I'm sorry. So miru, to see, and it's an iru, so it's a ru verb. Taberu, eru, ru verb. Neru, eru, to lie down, to go to sleep. Okiru, to get up, to rise, to wake up. But anyway, okiru, iru, good. Kangaeru, to consider, to think about. So kangaeru, eru. Oshieru, to teach, to inform. Oshieru, eru. And then here we have is deru, to go out, to exit, to leave. So deru, eru. Okay. Then we have is the exist, iru. Now this is different. I apologize. So, iru. Here's where things get a little weird. Okay. If it's the iru to mean to get in, to go into something, then it's a u verb. If it's this iru to exist, which is in this case. So normally for iru, let's see if they have the example here. They don't have it here. But if you look in that, like if you look at that first century, that's for iru, to go in, to go into something. So that's a u verb, irimasu. And then the second word is the iru for existence. You learn to distinguish the two based on context. All right, and then finally we have is kiru, to wear, to put on. Okay, and now kiru, iru, so it's an RU. Now let's do the u verbs, or these group V5R verbs, I guess is, or group 1 verbs. All right. Hanasu, to speak. So hanasu, asu. Kiku, to hear. Now kiku is different in that it can mean to hear something, also to ask something. But in this case, kiku, to hear, to listen, to ask. Kiku, iku. Well, actually, it doesn't matter, because the only thing that really matters is right here, adu. So here's a adu, so it's the, all these others doesn't matter, so it's the u. So oyogu, to swim. Asobu, now this is to play or to enjoy oneself, to have a good time. So it doesn't necessarily mean, like we see here in English, to play. It means to, in this case, it can mean to relax with friends. So if you go over to a friend's house to sonde, like to play, it doesn't mean you're going to mess around like sexually. It just means to relax, have fun. Matsu, to wait, to await. Nomu, to drink. Kau, to buy, to value, to have. Aru, now this is the one to be, for inanimate objects, to exist. And finally we have is shinu, to die. Finally are these exception verbs, which is suru, we already covered, which is, let me go to that last entry. That last one, suru, to do, to cause, to become, on the last one. Then we have kuru, to come, to approach, to arrive. Kind of like the opposite. Okay, now we've gone over these verbs. I don't expect you to memorize it. However, there are some of these verbs that are in the vocabulary. Also, you'll be able to get practice when you go here for these verb practice exercises that Taikim has. Alright, so here are some example sentences using those verbs. And this is in the present tense. Present tense. Okay. And these are RU verbs, U verbs, and exception verbs. So, Arasu wa, as for Alice, taberu, eats. Jimu ga, Jim is the one, kuru, that comes. Jimu ga kuru. Babu mo, Bob also. Suru, does, or do. Bob also do, or Bob also does. Okani ga, or money, okane ga, as for money, or money is the thing, aru, there is money. As for money, it exists. Watashi wa, as for me, kao, buy. Neko wa, iru, as for cat, there is a cat and it exists. That's also, I think that's the name of a book. I think. What it was, oh, never mind. Okay, so let's cover that. Let's do these 6 sentences. And alright, and this right here is where he's going to be covering some different types of RU verbs. From basic, intermediate, and advanced. Beru, shiru, iru, aru. I'll tell you what, and I'll cover this before we go. I might as well, because again, there are no further examples. So this is the appendix. So if you go and look at here, here's a bunch more about, like they're saying, 24 verbs. The verbs you probably have to worry about are here under the basic. So there's iru, to need. Yeah, right there. There's kaeru, to return, to come back, to go home. Kiru, to cut or to sever, to turn off lights. Shaberu. Now this is the second word there, to talk, to chat, to chatter. Shaberu. Shiru. This is to know, to understand, to be. Now there are 2 words. There's wakaru and there's shiru. One is to know. The wakaru is kind of like to understand, or I get it, to get something. Shiru is to have knowledge of something. Iru. Now this is different. Now again, there's iru here, to need. Now this is iru, which is to enter. You notice there's slightly different. But again, the difference there is in the kanji that's used, and also context how the verb is. Alright, so anyway, this is iru, which is to enter, to break into, to join. Well, that's to go in, to come in, to get in or to go in. There's hashiru, to run. Let's go over here. to run, to travel, to hurry to. And finally we have is heru, to decrease. I'm not going to go over these more intermediate and advanced vocabulary. You can if you want to, but we'll worry that as we get into further into the course, you'll start seeing these words pop up. Okay, with that we can go over the example sentences. Okay, so here's all 6 sentences, and let's bring this up as first. Okay.
アリスは食べる。
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 アリスは食べる. So as for Alice, eat. And this could be Jim, the cat, whatever. Something eats. As for Alice eats. Let's type this in. Oh, sorry. I was doing a book frequency list I was doing a vocabulary frequency spreadsheet for somebody. Okay. I posted a link online already for that, but you don't have to worry about that. Alright, so let's see. Do we have... Okay, good. アリスは食べる。アリスは食べる。アリスは食べる。
ジムが来る。
ジムが来る。Oh, I guess I'd only have that one. Okay. ジムが来る。ジムが来る。Jim is the one that comes. ジムが来る。
ジムが来る。ボブもする。
ボブもする。Bob also does.
ボブもする。
ボブもする。Bob also does. Or ボブも食べる。ボブも走る。runs. Whatever, eats. ボブもする。
お金がある。
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 お金がある。お金が as for money exists. ある. You notice that ある because again it's inanimate. いる would be for something that is animate. ある and いる.
私は買う。
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 私は買う。私は買う。Next.
猫はいる。
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 猫はいる. As for cat, okay. As for cat exists, and again, いる because it's an animate. 猫はいる. In this case, again, there's like 3 or 4. Like いる has, you've seen here. There's like let's shrink this down. You already see that. Like there's different verbs for いる, and they all have different meanings that, based on normally the kanji used to describe the verb, and also context. So yeah, 猫はいる. All right. So let me just show something real quick. Now, if you are doing this as a memorized course, and you haven't considered it already, what you can do is let's go to levels. Okay. So right here, I'm just going to quickly review it. So after you've learned it, what you should be doing for reviewing is you'll see a sentence here. Jim is the one that comes. So Jim is one. Jimu ga, and then that comes kuru, and it should have a little bit, and then you just kind of find it here. So you try to want to do a translation, if you will. You know, say this in Japanese in your head, say it out loud, and then find it somewhere around here, which is right here, and you'd click on that, and you'd read it, and then you click on it. So it should be very simple to pass these courses, because these aren't really meant to really strenuously test you. You're more like strenuously testing yourself. All right, so I'm just going to exit out of here and save and exit. Same goes with now vocabulary is similar. I'll just show you for example. So we'll just go to right here for basic vocabulary. Again, you're given this verb you're given this word in English. It might have some information to help you verify it, but you want to do something. So this is sudo, right there, and it'll give you this information. So you know, if you want to, while you're here, you can do the conjugations. You know, so suru, shita, shinai, shinakata, type thing. Yeah, something like that. Alright, so let's pause that out and exit. Save and exit. Alright, so anyway, that's just what Memrise can do for you. And again, there probably are Memrise courses with conjugations. I am going to be posting a course like that, but don't worry too much about that. So this lesson was fairly quick. We are done with the lesson for today. I think what I'll do for right now also, just as part of the continuing of this, I'm going to look at verb conjugation, verb practice exercises. So here, we're going to see a list of verbs in the accompanying kanji you find useful. So let's see. Suru, practice it. Alright. So this way, if you look at the verb, is it an RU verb or a U verb based on this? So let's say deru. So deru, eru. It's an RU verb. So I can, you probably, I think there's, okay, you can talk with the answers later. Or in this case, suru. So that's an exception verb. Kao, well, it's obviously a U verb. Anything with most of the U verbs, like here, ku is a U verb. Shin, no mu is a U verb. Those are easy. The difficult ones are the RU verbs. Okay. So in this case, we have is uru, or well, in this case, uru. So this is a U verb because uru. So here we have taberu. It's an RU verb. Iru, RU verb. Yeah, there's a this is the exception. Yeah, this is the one that doesn't fall into those weird rules. And the reason why this isn't is because the kanji itself, right here, is kind of taking up, kind of like. Yeah, there's a reason, but anyway, this is a U verb. We have kuru, which is an exception. Nomu, U verb. Shaberu, beru, eru, RU verb. Miru, iru, it's a RU verb. Kiru, iru, RU verb. Kaeru, eru, RU verb. Kaku, U verb. All right, and that's what you can do. You can toggle the answers and see how well you did. Okay, and I screwed that up, obviously. There you go. Yeah, kiru was a kaeru, kiku. Let me see if I can find a better way. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Alright, so these are some exceptions, and I really screwed that up. So anyway, that's something to learn. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the end of the lesson for right now. I'll be going into lesson 5 after this. TK05. Alright, so that's a very basic introduction to verbs. Thank you very much, and let's go on to the next part. Alright, so we want to go back to Grammar Guide. Here. Right here I want to go to Time Camp Part 1. Okay, so we'll be doing Lesson 5. Alright, so if you got any questions, it looks like there's 7 people watching the live stream. If you've got any questions for me, please ask. If you see me make a mistake, please speak up and whatnot. I'll try to correct it. Whatnot. Verbs are, unfortunately, what I say about verbs, a lot of the verbs comes with practice. And what you'll find out later on with what I mean by practice, like maybe consider each of the conjugated verbs, especially early on, as a word on itself. So in other words, don't just test the word taberu and think you've learned everything. Treat the past version of it, tabita, as a verb. So I have an example sentence on there as well. Tabenai, tabenakata. Didn't eat, don't eat, didn't eat, and treat it like that. It's kind of, that's where the practices are going to come into play. All right. So with that said, let's begin. So right now the time is now 33 minutes and 40 seconds. This is still the 21st. Okay. And let's begin. And welcome. This is Nuke Marine, presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy, a course series on Memrise for taking people from basics to intermediate to advanced levels in Japanese. Currently, this is course number 4, Tae Kim's Guide to Japanese, Part 1, which covers the lessons in his basic section of his website, of his grammar guide website. Alright, so let's go to part 4. So here is part 4. Now, if you've been enjoying this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. I kind of generate new content daily, most of it as self-study streams. Also, if you found this useful and maybe other people might get some use out of it, consider sharing it on social media such as Facebook or Tumblr or Twitter, and again, either the individual videos or the playlist or the channel itself, for people who may be interested in self-study methods. Alright, so in this course, Tae Kim's, I keep for the longest time been calling it Tai Kim, but yeah, Tae Kim's Japanese Grammar Guide. We are on lesson number 5, which is, we'll go here real quick. So we'll go to basic grammar. Okay, under basic grammar, we are on lesson. We already discovered let's see, we did verb basics. Now we're going to be going into negative verbs, how to not do something. All right. As always, before we start, we're going to go over the vocabulary for the course, and then lead into the lesson itself. So, lesson 5, basic vocabulary. All right, so just one word to worry about, but I'll still do my thing. Okay. But anyway, this is sobu. Okay, let's bring it up. Preview. Okay.
遊ぶ
Asobu, to play. Asobu. And again, it's a U verb. Asobu. And what you can do when you see these words, if you want to conjugate in your head when they come up, just conjugate like present, past, negative, negative past. Just do it quickly in your head, just for fun, when you start learning how to do conjugations. But anyway, so asobu. And wrong thing, I want to do let's draw it out. Okay. Since it's a new thing, we'll just start there. And, okay, so again, this is to play. So again, this is like think children at play. So do the Boy Scout banner. There's a little sign, a little picture of a child on the banner. It's on the road. So children at play, slow down, children at play on the road. So aso, and then do the bu, asobu. Okay. Asobu. Asobu. Okay, and that's it for that. Okay. Levels. Okay, so this is the lesson. It is on Memorize, but we'll be going off the website for the lesson. Here are the words. It looks like there's going to be similar to the previous lesson, but these are all going to be negative, so there should not be too difficult. Anyway, so here we go. Tai Kim's Guide, Learn Japanese Guide. Basic grammar, negative verbs. Now that we've seen how to declare things and perform actions with verbs, we want to be able to say the negative. In other words, we want to say that such and such action was not performed. This is done by conjugating a verb to the negative form, just like the state of being for nouns and adjectives. However, the rules are a tad more complicated. Alright, so conjugating verbs into negatives. Now again, I'm not going to go over the verbs as in detail as before. Never mind, I will. I'll just do it in the negative. I'll conjugate it into the negative. Alright, so here are the words. We will now make use of classifications we learned in the last section to define the rules for conjugations. Before we get into that, we need to cover one very important exception to the negative conjugation rules. That's with adu. Alright, so we have two types of verbs. We have adu, which is to exist for inanimate, and it's a U verb. And then idu, which is an RU verb, which means to exist for an animate version. Adu is a U verb used to express existence of inanimate objects. The equivalent verb for an animate object, such as people or animals, is idu, which is a normal RU verb. For example, if you wanted to say that a chair is in the room, you would use the verb adu. But if you want to say that a person is in the room, you must use the verb idu instead. These two verbs, adu and idu, are quite different from all other verbs because they describe existence and are not actual actions. You also need to be careful to choose the correct one based on animate or inanimate objects. Anyway, the reason he brings it up here is because of the negative of adu is nai. And there is arimasen when we get into polite forms, but nai, meaning something that does not exist. The conjugation rules for all of the verbs are listed below, as well as a list of example verbs and their negative form. Okay. So this is so it's not arinai, it's nai. Okay, so there the asterisk will mark the exceptions to the particular of this conjugation. Okay, so for RU verbs like taberu, drop the ru, and attach nai. So it's similar to sokunai. Kind of like we have the add the ku, like drop the e, add the kunai. So now we're just going to drop the ru and add nai. So taberu, tabenai. Now for U verbs that end in u, like the actual katakana or hiragana for u, replace the u with a wa and then attach nai. So in this case, kau, which means it's kawa, and then add the nai, kawanai. Kau, kawa, kawanai. For all other U verbs, replace the U sound with an A vowel equivalent and attach the nai. So matsu, which is kind of like doing tu. Now we're going to turn it into a ta or a ta. So matsu, mata, matanai. All right, and these are the exceptions right here. So suru becomes shinai. Kuru becomes konai. So you probably want to treat this as its own verb or its own. This is why what I'm saying, like when you create flashcards, normally you want to try to treat these as verbs as their own entries instead of depending upon conjugation. Wait, tabinai, kawanai, matanai, then the exception shinai, konai, and then adu, as mentioned, becomes nai. All right, now here I'm going to go over the conjugations. I'll do all these verbs. Okay, so miru, minai. And in fact, I'll even do it this way. I'll actually mention it is that this is called the negative stem. I'll give you a little point here now. This is before you add the nai. That was called the negative stem. So mi is the negative stem of miru, minai. Like the negative stem of taburu is tabe, and then we add the nai, tabe nai. Neru, ne, nenai. Okiru, oki, okinai. Kangaeru, to consider, to think, kangae, kangaenai. Oshieru, to teach, to inform, oshie, oshienai. Deru, to go out, to leave, deru, denai. Kiru, to wear, or put on something, so kiru, kinai. Iru, which is to get in, second word, iru, to be, to exist, so iru, inai. Now we're going to do U verbs. So we have hanasu. Now again, this turns into the negative stem, hanasa, then hanasanai. So hanasu, anasa, hanasanai. Kiku, to hear, to listen, to ask. Kiku, kika, kikanai. For swimming, so you have oyogu, oyoga, oyoganai. And then we have is asobu, to play, to enjoy oneself. This is the verb we learned. So asobu, asoba, asobanai. Matsu. Now this is think of that as being a tu for tsu, and then that becomes a mata, matanai. So matsu is to wait, to await, to look forward to. But matsu, mata, matanai. Nomu, to drink, to gulp, to swallow. So we have nomu, noma, nomanai. Alright, kauza right here is asterisk there is because again it doesn't turn into kau and then kaa, it becomes kawa. So u becomes a wa. So kau, kawa, kawanai. And so again the negative stem of this is kawa. And then we have is kaeru, to return, to come home, to go home. Kaeru, kaera, kaeranai. Finally we have is shinu, to die. So shinu, shina, shinanai. That sounds weird, okay. Shinu, shina, shinanai. Shinjanai dame, shinjawa dame. And finally are these exceptions. So I don't think they're, let's see. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so again, the negative stem. The negative stem is going to be, so for suru, the negative stem is shi. So suru, shi, shinai. Kuru, to come, to approach. Kuru, konai. And then adu, there really isn't a stem for that, but this is adu and then there's nai. Just trying to keep the, let's see. Adu, there's arimas. Aranai? Arianai? Okay, anyway, let's go into the example sentences. So, again, this is very similar to what we just saw. So, and then Asraus does not eat. So, Adaswa tebenai. Adaswa tebedu, Adaswa tebenai. Jim is one that does not play. Jimu ga asobo, Jimu ga asobanai. Bob also does not do. Babu mo suru, Babu mo shinai. There is no money. So, okane ga aru, okane ga nai. So remember, aru, nai. Those are the opposites. Aru and nai. Watashi wa kau, watashi wa kawanai. As for me, not buy. There is no cat. Neko wa iru, neko wa inai. As for cat, does not exist. Okay, so those are the sentences. Let's go over the examples. Preview. Alright.
アリスは食べない。
Arisu wa tebenai.
アリスは食べない。
Arisu wa tebenai. Let's write these out. So this is going to sound kind of like there was repetition with the conjugation of verbs, or conjugation of, or the nouns for declaratives, and also the adjectives. There's going to be repetition here for verbs, and that's good in that you want. So アリスは食べない。
ジムが遊ばない。
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 ジムが遊ばない。ジムが遊ばない。ジムが遊ぶ。ジムが遊ばない。ジムが遊ばない。遊ばない。ジムが遊ばない。
ボブもしない。
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 ボブもしない。ボブもしない。ボブもしない。そう、する、しない。
お金がない。
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 お金がない。お金がない。お金お金がない。そう、お金がある、お金がない。ある、ない。
私は買わない。
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 私は買わない。私は買わない。そう、買う、買わ、買わない。Alright, and
猫はいない。
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 猫はいない。猫はいる。猫はいない。猫はない。いない。いない。猫はいる。猫はいない。いる。いない。いる。いない。Alright, there we go. Session complete. Okay, so that was here. Let's just go. I'll do it like before. I'll go into the negative verb practice exercises, and we'll go over that, and then we'll end the lesson there. All right, and I apologize for not doing this for. Actually, I did kind of sort of do it for the previous lessons. But okay, so here's some kanjis that deal with this: uru, matsu, whatnot, suru, shaberu, miru. Some of these are common, some not so common. All right. So what we're going to do is see a verb and conjugate it into the negative form. So, and then we can then toggle the answer. So in this case, iku, ika, ikanai. Deru, denai. Make sure this is it's a suru. Now this is the exception verb. So this is suru, shinai. Kao, kawa, kawanai. Uru. Now in this case, you saw this is uranai. Taberu, tabenai. Now, iru, again, this is a u verb. So, iru, ira, iranai. Deru. Oh, this is kuru. So, it's the exception. So, it's kuru, konai. Nomu. Noma, nomanai. Don't drink. Shaberu. So, this drop through. Shabenai. Miru. And again, this is a u verb. So, miru, minai. Now, kiru, in this case, is a u verb, so it's kiru, kiranai. And then, kaeru, and again, this is kaeranai. This should be a u verb. Yeah, it's a u verb. So, kaeru, kaeranai. And then, now we have is kaku, kakanai. All right, there's the answers for it right there. Okay. And again, you can practice that on your own, like once or something, till you feel comfortable with it. So you got the, yeah. All right, so we'll go up there. Now that's the end of the lesson. So again, if you are on the live chat, if you got any questions or whatnot, feel free to ask it right now, and I'll be going into the. Let's see, we are 48 minutes into the stream. These lessons seem to be going pretty fast, and whatnot. The big problem with verbs is practicing conjugation, being comfortable with conjugations, and you'll notice that. Japanese follows some pretty standard rules, especially in this what's called the casual form. Casual is also sometimes called impolite. I don't think that's a good word for it. It's just casual. It means everyday talk, as opposed. I don't like to use the term polite. I like to use the term formal or casual, because at least in English, I think hearing polite and impolite, you feel like, oh, I need to speak politely, because that's how people should talk. In fact, it's not a good way of looking at how Japanese is treated. So try to think of terms casual and formal and whatnot. Even though I am guilty of putting some stuff like saying polite and impolite in my description of situations. Okay, so that's negative verb practices. Let's go to the next part. Okay, we're just going to go to the grammar guide. Okay, so that part's done. Let's go to next. Okay, and again, if you go to levels, right here, if you go to the review of this sentence, once you're done and you reviewed all these sentences, like in this course, when you're done with this course, what's going to be good with the reviews is that you're going to see this, whether it's going to be Jim is the one that plays, Jim is the one that does not play, and so you know that which way to conjugate. So Jimu ga and then asoba nai in this case. So you look for it. So it might be Jimu ga asobu. Let's see, is that here? Okay, it's not here, but you might see here asobu and asoba nai. And so in this case, you want to pick the asoba nai as the answer and whatnot. All right, and we'll exit out of that one. Save and exit. Okay, with that done, we can go to here. All right, so we got here, we got there. Okay, we are ready. Let's see if anything popped up on questions or whatnot. I'm not. Okay, it looks like he. Yep, it looks like he stickied it. So thank you very much, there, Max, or whoever stickied it. It looked like it was Max there. All right, good. And let's do a quick refresh here. See if any other things popped up, and then I'll go on to the lesson. Let's see. Nothing new there. Okay. And yeah, I was trying to post something like a little pointless thread right there about matching up emojis with kanjis just for fun, but I guess somebody took it too seriously. Fair enough. That's fair. It's a fair cop. Okay, so let's. We are ready. All right, let me get. I tell you what. Before I start, let me go drink one more cup of water and then get some coffee. I'll talk out loud. You guys are being pretty quiet in the stream. You aren't saying a darn thing. Yeah. I guess what I can do is this today just going to cover all the verbs. That might be a good thing to do. Alright, let's see. There we go. Get the water. Also, if you haven't already, check out the video. The guy who does Japanese in a year. His video, he's on his 7th video log. And this time he's covering himself actually reviewing Japanese and how he creates cards and whatnot. But there was another video he did as extra, which is 25 minutes of him studying. Kind of like what I do on my streams, just study. Although he's not talking back to the people who might be watching, or the same idea. And I'll be honest, if you can do it the way he's doing it, it's much better than what I present. Unfortunately, the way that system has to deal with you personalizing. And personalizing a vocabulary deck takes time. Now, it's time well spent, but it does take time. And, because again, like, you see the word taberu. Now, in English, it normally means to eat. So, you have to then search for a word, search for a photo that when you see it says, hey, eat. And you might even have a picture that tells you, okay, this means it's an action verb. Something that says, but anyway, maybe this is somebody putting food in their mouth. Eat. So, taberu. And then maybe you have a little X means like the opposite of that. It conjugated to the negative, so tabenai. So you see the picture of eating, you got a big cross. And then maybe you got something that says in the past, so maybe it's like a picture of a calendar, and it points, you know, today is circle, but the arrow's pointing to yesterday. So you know, in your mind, you know, that's in the past. So you see a picture of somebody eating, a big X sign meaning negative, and then a sign that says in the past. So you just know that's tabenai. And then you can do that thing about X in the past, or tabenakata, sorry, in the past is tabenakata. So that can give you an idea of our doing conjugations, but without using English. And that's the big thing about the Fluent Forever method, is trying to remove English from the equation, at least when it comes to reviewing. Now, the learning part, you use English, because, again, that's the easiest way to get the meaning across as to what they're trying to tell you. And that helps you look for the right type of pictures that resonates with you, so you know, okay, good, I want this picture because it's going to tell me that's what I need. And the reason why you got to personalize it, because what picture resonates for you may be different than what resonates for me. just because of personal experiences. So when you do the search on Google for images, you need to come up and whatnot. Now, it gets a bit more difficult with grammar, and that's fine. What you can do as you get better in Japanese with words, it may be some basic, again, you got some basic vocabulary and verbs and grammar and whatnot, but then when it gets a bit more complicated, you start using Japanese to describe Japanese, and that's what happens in the future with the Fluent Forever method. Again, it's beyond the scope of what I'm doing with Memrise and what I'm presenting, and that's fine. It's just, again, there's what I can present to a majority of people, and there's what I think would be the best for a majority of people, and yeah, those can be different things. Sometimes you just gotta sugar the pill, as it were. Okay, with that said, I've got my coffee and ready to go. Alright, so we've already done, this will be the third lesson. Wow, we're trucking along right now. TK06. Alright, so what might happen is, they already do this past, so I might do past, so that's going to cover probably past in the positive past and negative past. I think they're going to do both. Okay, so we should do, and we are ready. Alright, so the time is now 56 minutes. And 20 seconds. Still the 21st. Alrighty. Here we go. And welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting the Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy. This is a course series on Memrise meant for self-study to taking from basics to intermediate to advanced levels in Japanese. Currently, this is on course number 4, which is Tae Kim's Guide to Japanese Basic, or Guide to Japanese Part 1, which covers the basic lessons in his website, the Learn Japanese website grammar guide. As shown here, this is where I'm at right now. Okay, here we are. Now, if you are watching this, so if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, I provide new content daily. Most of those is me doing a self-study stream for my own Japanese studies. Finally, if you found that this has been useful, consider sharing it on social media with them. If someone's interested in learning Japanese in a self-study aspect, either share the channel or individual videos that kind of link to, again, myself demonstrating self-study in Japanese. Alright, with that said, this is part 4. We have already covered 5 lessons, so what we'll be covering is lesson number 5. So let's alright, so this is a Learn Japanese website, the Japanese Grammar Guide. We are in the Basic Grammar section. Let's go to there. Finally, for the basic grammar, we already covered verb basics and negative verbs. Now we're going to go into past tense. Past tense. Now it's going to be past tense positive and past tense negative. Before we begin, let me read off, and then I'll go into before we begin, we're going to cover the vocabulary for this lesson, for this section. So let's go to here. So we are on lesson 6, basic vocabulary. Alright, looks like there are 9 words to cover, so that's good. Oh, yeah, I guess I need my pad right there. Alright. Alright, so let's go here. And when I go over the words, I'll tell you what I'll also do. I'll conjugate it. At least currently I'll conjugate in the current and the past for now. Or the negative. Current and the negative. Preview. Alright.
Deru.
Deru. Huh. I don't remember that. I don't remember. Oh, anyway, you have the option where there's mem notes here where you can go and help you with memorize these words. Little notes that'll help you memorize it better. Alright, so this is deru. It is an RU verb. So that means it's like deru, denai, denakatta, deta. But that'll be coming into play later. So deru. To go out, to leave, to exit. Opposite of iru. Okay, let's write that down. Deru. Deru. Oh, wrong one. Deru. Alright, so we'll delete that. Alright, so de, So there's the basically leave or exit out between the two mountain passes. Deru. And this is the RU verb. Deru. Deru.
出る
Deru.
捨てる
Steru. Steru. Again, it's an RU verb. This is to throw away, to cast aside, to abandon. Steru. So, steru, stenai, steta. Hashita, hashita. Tabeta. Beru tabeta, steta. Yeah, sorry. I was getting distracted. So, steru. Click on the wrong thing again. Steru. Alright, so that's the little finger. Again, it was just the, which is in the cottage. Steru. Su. De. Wow, that is ugly writing. Steru. Sorry about that. Steru. Steru. And that's the kanji for discard. Steru.
捨てる
Steru.
ご飯
Gohan. Now this is a noun. This is a meal. Gohan. Normally the go is in hiragana, and then the han is in kanji. Gohan. Now this means cooked rice or a meal. If the rice is not cooked, it's called something else, kome. But so usually referred to gohan. It might mean sometimes can be referred to directly as meal, and other times as. But yeah, as the overall meal, or also just cooked rice. But yeah, gohan. Gohan. Why am I doing? Okay, let me stop that. Gohan. Okay, so we're gonna do here. So we do go. Han. Can't have your rice and eat it too, or something. Gohan. Gohan. And it's meal. Next up.
映画
Ega. And so this is the kanjis are reflect and brush stroke. Ega. Ega. And these are onyomi, so ega. Movie. Yeah, or film. Ega. So again, reflect and brush stroke. So reflect, so there's the sun reflecting off the center of the moon. I'm probably going to write this wrong. Egg, and then we want brush stroke, which is there. There's the little arrow there, it's being guided with the shovel, whatnot. Ega. 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 Now if you listen to it,
映画
Ega. It has kind of like the ga has more of an ng sound to it. Ega. Like, but ega. Ega.
映画
Ega.
全部
Zenbu. So it's whole and section. Whole section. Everything. The whole section. Everything. Zenbu. Zenbu.
全部
Zenbu. Zenbu. Zen. Bu. Alright, and then we want to have the muzzled dogs guarding the outer walls of the city, the section of the city. Zenbu is everything, whole and everything.
全部
Zenbu.
見る
Miru. And it's an RU verb, so miru, minai, minakata, mita, mita, mita. Miru.
見る
Miru. And that's C, so that's Mike Wazowski on his leg, so let's draw it. Let's write it. Usually say draw it. I know it means write, but okay. It's kind of like you draw kanji. Miru. Mike Wazowski. And Ru. Miru. You hear a lot of kids say, mite, mite, look, look.
見る
Miru.
行く
Iku. This is to go. Now this is a U verb, so iku, ika, ikanai. Iku. And this is going. So it's the Spartan soldiers going along the boulevard. Okay, iku. Iku. Alright, there's Spartan, King Leonidas, would. There's the boulevard billboard signs on the street roads or whatnot. Iku, 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 ikanai.
走る
Hashiru. Now this is a U verb, so hashita, hashiri. Yeah. Hashiru. Now this is to run, to travel, or to hurry, to retreat. So hashiru. Hashira, hashiranai. Hashiru, hashira, hashiranai. Okay? Okay, hashiru. Okay, so there's the, when you're running on the dirt, you need to mend up all the roads after the marathon or something. Hashiru.
走る
Hashiru.
勉強
Benkyo. And we got Brendan and Bernie saying sup, bro. Hello. All right, ben kyo. That's a study. So exertion, ben, and then strong, kyo, ben kyo. Exertion, strong. But yeah, together it is study. Go for it. Now this is what's going to be called a pseudo verb. It's a verbal noun. Basically, you add pseudo to it, it becomes study. So ben kyo is a noun, but then add the pseudo to it. Later on, you'll find that means it now turns it into a verb. Okay, ben kyo, exertion and strong, ben and kyo. All right, so we want to do the there's Bugs Bunny. He's exertion because he's in a wrestling match with Superman, exerting himself to win. And then kyo, because it's strong. You gotta be strong enough to pull the bow with your elbow, hit a insect across, whatnot. All right, anyway, ben kyo, ben kyo. Study, diligence, also I guess discount. I've heard it like that. All right, so that's all the new words. So again, about, what was that, 9? That's not too bad. A few of them were verbs. And spend some time being comfortable with conjugating verbs. Be very comfortable. Like if you got to spend time learning a new verb or learning how to conjugate an old one, spend time conjugating the old, getting practice and comfortable conjugating the old one. All right, so right now we are on. All right, and all right, so Tai Kim's grammar, so this is there. Let's go to the lesson. And again, the lesson we'll be covering on the website itself, but again, it is here if you want to just be stuck with the. All right, and here's some. Now, this course has a lot more example sentences, so let's get to it. All right. All right, so this is the Japanese grammar guide, basic grammar. This is lesson 6, past tense. We will finish defining all the basic properties of verbs by learning how to express the past and past negative tense of actions. I will warn you in advance that the conjugation rules in this section will be the most complex rules you will learn in all of Japanese, I would say thus far. It gets a little weird conjugating with politeness. On the one hand, once you have this section nailed, all other rules of conjugations will seem simple. On the other hand, you have 5 fingers. You might need to refer back to this section many times before you finally get all the rules. You will probably need a great deal of practice until you can become familiar with all the different conjugations. Okay, so this is past tense for ru verbs. Ru verbs. Okay. Do. Okay, so there's some words we're going to. So we will start off with an easy do category. To change a do from dictionary form into past tense, you will simply drop the ru and add the ta. Alright, so you got deru, de, deta. So this is called the past tense. That'll be called de, and then deta. Alright, okay. Then here we have a suteru, drop the ru, sute, steta, deta, steta. Alright, so that's for all RU verbs. Alright, so here are some examples. Gohan wa taberu, gohan wa tabeta, 8. Eiga wa zenbu miru, eiga wa zenbu mita. So as for meal, 8. As for movie, all saw them all. Alright, so that's really simple. Let's go over the sentences there. Gohan wa tabeta. Gohan wa tabeta.
Gohan wa tabeta.
Gohan wa tabeta. Alright, let's write that out. Okay, gohan wa. As for meal, tabeta. Gohan wa tabeta. Okay, next up.
映画は全部見た。
Alright, so it could be eiga wa mita. In this case, we're adding a little extra. Zenbu, all of it. Or saw them all. Eiga wa zenbu mita. And it could be like talking about a series of movies, like maybe it was a Star Wars series. Yeah, I saw all the Star Wars movies.
映画は全部見た。
映画は全部見た。
映画は全部見た. So, 見る、見た。見ない。映画は全部見た. Okay, so 食べた、食べない、食べる、見た、見る、見ない. Next up.
今日は走った
Alright. Now we're going to do a past tense for you verbs. Alright, so here's a bunch of you verbs, and maybe a few are you verbs are in there. Nope, these are all you verbs. Alright, changing a you verb from the dictionary form, what this is called dictionary form is also, you might hear this referred to as casual form or impolite form. What does this mean? Or non-past form is another way. Different ways of describing this type form of verb. If you look up this verb in the dictionary, this is the word you have to find. You have to know how to know this word to look it up in the Japanese dictionary. That's why it's called the dictionary form. You also call it casual form because this is how friends would talk to each other. They would use this form of verb. And it's also called the non-polite form because the polite word with the mas or form of it is called polite, so they call this non-polite. It's just the way it is. So different ways of describing the same type of form of verb. Okay. So anyway, change it from the past tense to difficult. We might break up the you verb into 4 additional categories. These categories depend on the last character of the verb. The table below illustrates the different subconjugations. In addition, there is one exception to the rule. That is the verb iku. And he's bundled it with the regular exception verbs sudu and kudu. And don't forget there was also the aru becomes nai. That's an exception for a negative exception. This might be a little bit different. Even though iku is a regular you verb in most all other instances, in all other cases. All right. So here we have. So we have it if it ends in a su. Okay. And this is going to look weird. Okay. This is where now su. The reason why this becomes shita is like su normally for a lot of words was originally way back when time was sudo verbs, and you'll find out the sudo in the past becomes shita. Like right here, sudo is shita, so su becomes shita. So anything like hanasu, speak, so hana, shita, hanashi, hanashita. Yonde, yonda. Hashite. And usually we'll find out about the, by the way, this is called the past stem. So in other words, hanashi is the past stem. So in this case, we'll get into that. So okay, now we have ku and gu. Now if it's ku, like kaku, then it becomes, drop the ku becomes ita. So kaita. Okay. Here we have is oyogu. Drop the gu, turns into ida, oyoida. So ku becomes ita, gu becomes ida. This you have to practice. Okay, this is not I'll say intuitive. There's nothing intuitive on this part. Here we have is mu, bu, and nu. These all kind of like be turned into inda. So we have is no mu. Then the mu becomes nda. So nonda. No nda, nonda. Yeah, right there. Okay. Let me just try to not. I'll try not to highlight over the words because that brings up the rikai chan. I don't want to mess you up. So okay. So no mu, nonda. Asobu. So the bu becomes nda. Aso. So no, nda, nonda. Asobu. Aso. Aso nda. Asonda. Nu, shinu. She nda, shinda. All right, unfortunately this is one of those like treat these as their own words. If you make flashcards, try to make these as their own thing. Like die in the past, shinda. Then we have is kiru. Now here for these right here. So these all become a ta, like a, I guess like kiru, kita, kau, kata, matsu, matta. Okay, and that's like the double. That makes the glottal stop sound. So we have shita for su, ita or ida for ku or gu, and nda for mu, bu, nu, and then for ta for nu, u, and tsu. All right, now iku, what it would have been saying, it sounded like here it should have been like ita, but in this case it turns it into ita. So iku in the past tense is ita. That's the exception. All right, that was very complicated. I apologize about that. So anyway, here we go. So kyo wa hashiru, Kyo wa hashita. Hashiru, hashita. Hashita. Kyo wa hashita. Tomodachi ga kuru. Tomodachi ga, in this case, kuru then becomes kita. So suru shita, kuru kita. Alright, so we have suru, shinai, shita. Okay, kuru, konai, kita, iku, ikanai, ita. Alright, so anyway, here we have tomodachi ga kuru, tomodachi ga konai, tomodachi ga kita. Watashi mo asobu, watashi mo asobanai, watashi mo asonda, bu nda. Okay, benkyou wa suru, benkyou wa shinai, benkyou wa shita, benkyou wa shita, past tense. Okay, let's go over those example vocabularies and go. This is going to take, you got to get a little kind of practice. When you do it, it starts becoming second nature when you start doing a lot. And you got a lot of these example sentences that are in, I think what happens with a lot of colleges is that because they try to keep everything in this polite form of, or formal form, like what you'll find out in the second course, which is hashirimasu, asobimasu, kimasu, and whatnot, is that people are never getting a good comfort zone of these conjugations, but with play and whatnot, it becomes second nature. But you have to do it a lot. You have to just be comfortable with it. Okay, with that said, let's go over the sentences. Kyou wa hashita.
今日は走った
Hashita. You can say like hashiru, hashinai, hashiranai, hashita, if you want to keep going over to your head.
今日は走った
Kyou wa hashita, hashiru, hashiranai. Alright, let's type that out. Kyou wa hashita, hashita. Kyou wa hashita. Now, the interesting thing about the IME, if you type that wrong, let's say hashita, you can't. So it might be good. That's a good reason to be typing it out. It's like it kind of like you do have to conjugate it right, or it doesn't. It won't pick the correct word. So kyou wa hashita, hashita.
友達が来た
Tomodachi ga kita. So we got
友達が来た
tomodachi ga kita. So we got kita, kuru, konai, kita, kuru, konai, kita. Tomodachi ga kita. Okay, let's do it. Tomodachi ga kita. Okay, we got there. Rei no Nihongo. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll answer it after the lesson's over. Tomodachi ga kita. Okay, next up.
私も遊んだ
Watashi mo asonda. So, watashi mo.
私も遊んだ
Watashi mo asonda. So, asobu, asobanai, asonda. Watashi mo asonda. Watashi mo asonda. Watashi mo asonda. I think that's it. That's 6-2.
勉強はした
Benkyou wa shita. And you also could also say benkyou shita, but I studied. But benkyou wa shita.
勉強はした
Benkyou wa shita.
勉強はした
Okay, so it's shita, so it's suru, shinai, shita. Okay. Benkyou wa shita. Benkyou wa shita. Alright. And somebody just asked a quick question, like, should they start at the beginning of the stream or start watching with the first stream? Since, like I say, if you feel like doing this course here, I would say just start from the beginning. And if you haven't did Taikim, just trust with it and go forward. If you know where you need to be at, then select that position as well. If you've got to ask, just start from the beginning. Alright, so there we go. Benkyou wa shita.
アリスは食べなかった
Alright, we'll begin into that later. Alright, so that is the that was the negative form, or that was the past form. Now we're going to do past negative. Alright, past negative tense for all verbs. Vocabulary. Alright, so we got seteru, whatnot. So the conjugation rules for past negative are the same for all verbs. You might have noticed that the negative of just about everything always ends in nai. The conjugation rules for past negatives of the verb is pretty much the same as all other negatives that end in nai. Simply take the negative of any verb, remove the e, from the nai and add the katta, and replace it with katta. So something like takaku nai, takaku nakatta, if you remember that one. So this is going to be, in other words, a negative. You can treat a negative verb as an e adjective, and so you can conjugate it as an e adjective as well. In this case, if that makes sense. So in this case, so we have suteru. So make it a negative. So let me drop the do, add the nai. Sutenai. So suteru, sute, sutenai. Now we want to take the sutenai into, we drop the sutena, sutena katta, sutena katta. Now we have iku. So we want to iku, ika, ikanai. Don't go. Now we want to drop ikana, ikanakatta. Alright, so here's some examples. And this is using these old standards that we had before. So, arasu wa tabenakatta. So, arasu wa teberu, arasu wa tebenai, arasu wa tebeta, arasu wa tebenakatta. Tebeta, tebenakatta. Jimu ga shinakatta. So, jimu ga suru, jimu ga shinai, jimu ga shita, jimu ga shinakatta. Baba mo ikanakatta. So baba mo iku, baba mo ita. Baba mo ikanai. Baba mo ikanakatta. Okane ga nakatta. There was no money. So okane ga aru, okane ga nai. Okane ga nakatta. I'm sorry, okane ga in the past, which is atta. That was a choice, right? I didn't just mistake that, right? Yeah, it should be atta. No, I'm kind of feeling weird. I'm not. Okay, and neko wa inakatta. So neko wa iru, neko wa ita. That's weird. Okay, so neko wa ita, neko wa inai, neko wa inakatta. Alright, so let's go over those example sentences. And what I'll do is I'll finally do the last part, is going over the. So arasu wa tabenakatta. Arasu wa tabenakatta. So teberu, tebenai, tebeta, tebenakatta.
アリスは食べなかった。
arasu wa tabenakatta. Na, tabenai, tabenakatta. Tabenakatta. Arasu wa tabenakatta.
ジムがしなかった。
Jimu ga shinakatta. Suru, shinakatta.
ジムがしなかった。
Jimu ga shinakatta. Suru, shinakatta. Jimu ga shinakatta. Jimu ga shinakatta. Suru, shinakatta.
ボブも行かなかった。
Bobo mo ikanakatta. Bobo mo iku. Bobo mo ikanakatta.
ボブも行かなかった。
Bobo mo ikanakatta. Bobo mo iku. Bobo mo ikanai, ikanakatta. 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 Bobo mo ikanakatta.
お金がなかった。
Okane ga nakatta. Okane ga aru. Okane ga nai. Okane ga atta. Atta. Okane ga nakatta. Again, okane. Oh, spelled that wrong. Okane. Okane ga nakatta. Okane ga nakatta.
私は買わなかった。
Watashi wa kawanakatta. Watashi wa kau. Watashi wa kawanakatta.
私は買わなかった。
Watashi wa kawanakatta. Remember, u becomes wa and then nai. Kawa. Kau. Kawanai. 私は買わなかった。買わなかった。私は買わなかった。買う。
猫はいなかった。
そう、猫はいる。猫はいなかった。
猫
猫はいなかった。
猫はいなかった。猫はいなかった。いなかった。猫はいなかった。Alright, cool. Whew. Alrighty. And it's pretty good when you learn verbs, especially for RU verbs, like treat two cards, one in the positive, one in the negative. That way it's kind of a little easier to know whether it's an RU verb or an U verb. Okay, so that's good there. It took about 17 minutes or whatnot. Let's go next. Okay, so that was this part. Alright, so that's the end. What we're going to do now, I'm going to go over the past verb practice exercises. Alright. Alright, so this is the same list of verbs from previous practice exercise, a couple of additions, mostly use the same verbs from last sentence exercises to practice conjugations. Okay, so we got, again, suru, shaberu, hanasu, kuru, miru, iku, kaeru, whatnot. Let's see, a couple new ones. It looks like shinu and oyogu, maybe? Alright, so here we go. And so again, it's whether it's an RU verb or what. Now this is going to be, if you're not sure, have that conjugation chart on hand. Like have that, print that out, write it out, or whatever. Have it on hand for a quick and ready reference. Especially, and remember, this is the exception, so this is deru. So drop the RU, add the ta. Deta, deta. Iku, ita. That was the exception on there. Suru, shita. Kau, katta. So drop the u, add the ta. Katta. Uru, uta. Should be in. I feel like I'm thinking that wrong. Teberu, tebeta. Iru, so ita, ita. Kuru. Now again, this is the exception, but this is kita. Kuru, kita. Nomu, nonda. Nu becomes an nda. Shaberu, shabeta. Miru, mita. Kiru, kitta, kitta. Kaeru, kaeta. Kaeta, kaeta. Kaku, kaita. So ku becomes ita. Matsu becomes the ta, matta. Mattamasho, mattamasho. And hasu, hanashita. Su becomes shita. Gu becomes nda. Oyonda, oyonda. And then shinu, shinda. Alright, let's see how I did. So shinda, oyoida. Okay, I got the gu and ku wrong. So, in fact, they should have a better. Yeah, there is kaita. So yoida, yoida, and kaita. I need to more practice with that myself. Okay, deta, ita, shita, kao, kata, uta, uru, tebeta, haita. That is haita, right? Iru, ita. I'm thinking hairu. Yeah, okay, there is a hairu version of it, but iru, hairu, ita, haita. Kuru, kita, nomu, nonda, shaberu, shabetta. Really? I got that one wrong, huh? Shaberu. Okay. So that was an RU, a regular. Okay, so it's a U verb. Sorry, my apologies. Shabetta. Miru, mita. Kiru, kita. Kaeru, kaeta. Kaku, kaita. Matsu, matta. Hanasu, hanashita. Oyogu, oyoida. And shinu, shinda. Alright. Now we're going to go over is the practicing on the past negative. Alright, so here we have is deru, denai, denakatta. Iku, ikanai, ikanakatta. Suru, shinai, shinakatta. Kau, kawanai, kawanakatta. Kawanai. Uru, uranai, uranakatta. Teberu, tebenai, tebenakatta. Iru, iranai, iranakatta. Kuru, konai, konakatta. Nomu, nomanai, nomanakatta. Shaberu, shaberanai, shaberanakatta. Miru, miranai, miru, minai, minakatta. Kiru, kiranai, kiranakatta. Kaeru, kaeranai, kaeranakatta. Kaku, kakanai, kakanakatta. Matsu, matanai. Wait a minute. Matsu, matanai, matanai. Matsu, matanai, matanakatta. Matanakatta. I don't know. Doesn't feel right. Hanasu, hanasanai, hanasanakata. And shinu, shinanakata. That's, I'm not used to saying that word. Okay, those, oyogu, oyoganai, oyoganakata. Okay, so there we go. So let's do it one more time. So we have, deru, denakata. Iku, ikanakata. Suru, shinakata. Kau, kawanakata. Uru, uranakata. Taberu, tabenakata. Tabenakata. Iru, inanakata. Kuru, konakata. Nomu, nomanakata. Shaberu, shaberanakata. Miru, minakata. Kiru, kira, nakata. Kira nakata. I'm not used to that one. Kaeru, kaeranakata. Kaku, kakunakata. Matsu, matanakata. Hanasu, hanasanakata. Oyogu, oyoganakata. Shinu, shinakata. Shinanakata. I am not used to saying that word. Okay, there you go. And if you want to, like, once a day or something, just do a quick little practice. Kind of like how you got comfortable with practicing hiragana and katakana. Just kind of like, just get into your comfort zone and whatnot. And then it also, if you start adding verbs and example sentences, it becomes a little more, it just becomes a lot more embedded into yourself, even if you kind of forget the rules. All right, so that's the end of the lesson. Whatnot. Hopefully that wasn't too boring. What is the time now? It's now an hour 30 minutes. I did do 3 lessons. Well, let's go see let's go see what the next one looks like. First off, let's see. Particles used with verbs. Okay, this may be a long lesson. Let's see. Direct object, the ni, the yeah, the de. All right, I may just solve this. I may save this for tomorrow. Okay. All right, good. That is a long lesson. All right, because this is we have already learned a few particles. We learned babu wa, babu ga, babu mo, and so now we're going to learn some more as well. Okay, cool. The reason why we want particles is that we've got verbs, and I want to say what the verbs do with these nouns and these adjectives and maybe these other verbs. So that's where particles are going to come into play. And also the good thing about particles is the way I express it, and this is where Tae Kim kind of helped me understand Japanese, is that you start treating particles as if they're part of the word itself. So in other words, you almost like treat it all as one word, for lack of a better term. Because even the way I type is like I'll type out the word and the particle that goes with it, and I'll treat it like that. And the way I've heard described from one recent thread on the Learn Japanese forums, way when it comes with writing space, as Japanese, so the spacing between word groups is tighter, like with associated words. So in other words, like watashi wa, the watashi and wa would be spaced close together. Then there be slightly better, more spacing between those what I call the particle phrases. Anyway, that will be tomorrow, and it will probably just be, depending on how long this takes. This seems like this is going to be a long lesson. Yeah. Depending on that, it might just be the entire stream might just be that one lesson, because I remember doing this. This takes a while to get through, and be willing, if you're watching the video and whatnot, pause it and just pause at a natural point, then come back the next day if you need to, if you're already running out of time. But yeah, these sub-lessons are really good points in which to have breaks. Because he does have some lessons that have a lot of mini sub-lessons, and other lessons he has, like maybe has one sub-lesson. So don't base it on kind of like the fallacy of thinking, oh, I need to do a chapter a week. Just do as much as you can in a week. How much of that chapter, if you need to go into a new chapter or you got to do half a chapter, it doesn't matter. You kind of fill up the time based on whatever the reviews you did previously, and then move on into what the new material you need to learn. Okay, sorry, drinking a little bit more coffee. All right, now that also the lesson gone, let me go into these questions. So, okay, so we got Brendan Burney said, "Sup, bro? Is that Yomi-chan?" So now this is the pop-up I'm using is called Rikai-kun, and there's also Rikai-chan and Rikai-sama for the other type of browsers. But yeah, Rikai. I think Yomi might be better. I'm not sure. We got Ray no Nihongo. He said, "Hey Nuke, I'm planning on watching your streams as part of my Japanese study. Do you recommend that I start watching from the very first stream? I'm not an absolute beginner, nor am I an expert, by the way." And the answer to that is, like, if you know what, if you need to, if you're like really worried about where you're at, just start from the beginning. You'll do that part fast, real quick. But now make the choice. Once you start, make the choice now, especially if you're going to follow the My Little Course series, that you're going to continue it to the end. I mean, just you decide this is the course you like. These are the materials that you like, and I'm going to use it, and just stick with it and go forward. Now, just for the learning material, because obviously your entertainment material, you can change that out, and you need to change out, and just I have all sorts of new stuff to work with. But yeah, should be good. Should be good. That's my recommendation. Anyway, yeah. So you can start at the beginning, kind of understand where Take Him is approaching stuff, and go from there. Okay, let's see if that's all. That looks like everything. Okay, again, I'll do this tomorrow. So yeah, it was 3 lessons today, lessons 4, 5, and 6. So thank you on that. And what I'm going to do right now is move into my normal study. So if you were here just to watch the lesson, watch the grammar lessons, and yeah, that part's done. Now I'm doing Nuke Marine self-study. This is me trying to improve my Japanese. That's all. Which is the main reason I started doing this this entire thing. If you hear any noise in the background, what I've got is Arrow on Netflix, and I'm playing it with Japanese subtitles and Japanese audio. I can't really hear the audio too well, but shiranai, souka, dare nanda, uso ga heta kana, heta da ka. You're really bad at lying. Okay. The only problem about Netflix, I think I've mentioned this before, when you have like US TV shows, I think they're more entertaining, but the problem is that when the subtitles don't match up with their dubbing, and that mismatch is really annoying. But anyway, all right, we got Anton saying hi. So hi. Oh, and also Unrestricted Potato had said, "I'm surprised I have no questions. Japanese is just so logical." Yeah, so far. I mean, what gets crazy with Japanese is when you get into the casual spoken dialogue. That's when slang comes into play, and that's where a lot of these rules kind of go out the window. And it's not really that they're going out the window, it's just that they know what rules to ignore. And so they still have people trying to make the mistake of trying to create some type of set rule for this. It just... But anyway. Alright, let me get on with this. Alright, so I'm done here, so I can close this off. I don't think there's anything new. Let's go and refresh here, and let's see. There's no questions for me, right? Not that I saw. Okay, also good. And let's see. That's all good. Okay, got something here. What do we got? Let's see. Another quality. Oh, really? Okay. I don't think it was low effort, but okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, if that's the case, Did I miss something? Alright, let me do something real quick. Since it's already deleted, ain't much I can do with it. Let me just delete it then. Okay, let's delete that. I don't think it was low effort, it was just that it was more of starting a conversation. But I guess that is kind of weird in that I can't actually click on that. That's a let's go back and learn Japanese. And new. Alright, cool. Alright, now that's said and done. Let's go to here. Let's see what we got. Come on. Alright, so I got 40, 100, 50 there. Let's see, I'll do that. Treat that as 20. Okay. Alright, so... Alright, let's do it.
今日は都合が悪くて行けません。
今日は都合が悪くて行けません。Something like that. 悪くて行けません。都合。今日は都合が悪くて行けません。
さっき郵便が届きました。
さっき郵便が届きました。さっき郵便が届きました。郵便。
その店はいろいろな品物を売っている。
その店はいろいろな品物を売っている。そう、売っている。あー、ただただただバーン。その店はいろいろな品物を売っている。
みんなに会議の日にちを知らせた。
みんなに会議の日にちを知らせた。みんなに会議の日にちを知らせた。知らせる。OK。みんなに会議の日にちを知らせた。知らせる。やっと。
やっと。
やっと。冬休み。冬休み。
冬休み。
寒気。寒さ。
寒さ。
寒さ。情報。
情報。
情報。
嬉しくて思わず涙が出ました。
嬉しくて思わず涙がこぼした。嬉しくて思わず涙が出ました。without thinking 思わず。どんどん。
どんどん。
どんどん。
あそこの交番で道を聞きましょう。
そこの交番で道を聞きましょう。交番。そこの交番で道を聞きましょう。つまらない。つまらない。
つまらない。
つまらない。暑さ。
暑さ。
暑さ。暑さ。安心。
安心。
安心。
明日うちでパーティーを開きます。
明日うちのパーティーで開きます。パーティー。明日うちでパーティーを開きます。
彼は車を3台所有している。
彼は車を3台所有している。所有。彼は車を3台所有している。And this is one where I don't like seeing the sentence first because I probably would have forgotten to show you. But now I've gotten reminded of it, so now I'm going to know what it is. But that's fine. It's neither here nor there. It's just, I know when I see it, I'm going to know what it is. Omowazu. Same with this, like omowazu. Like, did I actually remember it, or is it because I saw the sentence? And
思わず
okay. Mukashi.
昔。昨日の会議について報告があります。
昨日の会議について報告があります。昨日の会議について報告があります。悪口。Is that悪口。
悪口。
We'll leave it at that. Okay, let's go to here.これを先生にあげる。これは先生にあげる。
これは先生にあげる。
高いものを買わないでくれる。高いものを買わないでくれる。
高いものを買わないでくれる。
1000円を貸してくれる。1000円を貸してくれる。
1000円を貸してくれる。
マイル。
マイル。
モース。
モース。
これは漢字で書いてくれる。漢字を書いて、これを漢字を書いてもらえませんか。
漢字を書いてもらえませんか。
ある。humble。おる。くれますか。先生、教えてくれますか。先生はくれるんですか。そう、先生が教えてくれるんですか。
先生が教えてくれるんですか。
ござる。I was wrong. おいでになる。shall to be, to come. Oh, to come, to go. Okay, that's it. That's the word. おいでになる。
おいでになる。
to come, to go. 私は友達にプレゼントをもらった。私は友達にプレゼントを。私が友達にプレゼントをもらった。
私が友達にプレゼントをもらった。
40. Let's go from there. Okay. Okay, 聞いてよ。いつ初めて集めたんだ。集めた。子供の頃初めて集める。いつから聞いてよ。集め始めたんだ。なんですか。子供の頃から集め始めました。
いつから切手を集め始めたんですか。
いつから
子供の時から集め始めました。
始めた。日本の経済は 東京オリンピックの頃強くなって始めた。そうだね。日本の経済は1964年の東京オリンピックの頃から強くなり始めた。強くなり始めた。強くなり始めた。Okay, so it's the mass stem. 始めた。Okay.
日本の経済は1964年の東京オリンピックの頃から強くなり始めた。
強くなり始めた。日本の小説を読んでみます。読んでみる。私は日本の小説を読んでみる。
私は日本の小説を読んでみる。
私は日本の小説を読んでみる。面白かったらコンサルトに行ってみた。面白そうなコンサルトだったので行ってみました。面白そうなコンサルトだったので行ってみました。
面白そうなコンサートだったので行ってみました。というあの人を見ないという、I don't want to see him 見ないという気持ちがよくわかります。その人に会いたくないという気持ち。会いたくない。Okay. その人に会いたくないという気持ちはよくわかります。
その人に会いたくないという気持ちはよくわかります。
その人に会いたくないという気持ちはよくわかります。今田さんが病院したという報告が聞いた。入院。山田さんが入院したという知らせを聞いた。山田さんが
入院したという知らせを聞きました。
僕の写真はいい。食べてみる？僕の刺身は美味しいですよ。食べてみますか？
ここの刺身は美味しいですよ。食べてみますか？
ここの刺身は美味しいですよ。食べてみますか？源氏物語を8月から読み始めました。
私は8月から源氏物語を読み始めました。So again, it's like the must and for 始める。読み始めました。
私は8月から源氏物語を読み始めました。
源氏物語を読み始めました。雪国という小説を読んだ。雪国という小説を読んだ。
雪国という小説を読んだ。
雪国という小説を読んだ。明日からレポートを書き始める。書き始めます。明日からレポートを書き始めます。
明日からレポートを書き始める。
書き始める。確か代わりに父さんがいてもいい？私の代わりに OK 私の代わりに父がいてもいいですか？
私の代わりに父が行ってもいいですか？
私の代わりにいてもいいですか？土曜日が仕事をする代わりに月曜日が休みます。土曜日に仕事をする代わりに月曜日は休む。
土曜日に仕事をする代わりに月曜日は休みます。
手伝ってあげる代わりに飲ませてくれますか？手伝ってあげる代わりに飲ませてくださいよ。So it's for the verb, it's always a casual form. あげる代わりに飲ませてください。
手伝ってあげる代わりに飲ませてください。
手伝ってあげる代わりにしてくれた？あなたは子供たちに子供たちはあなたに何をしてくれた？子供たちはあなたに何をしてくれましたか？何をくれましたか？
子供たちはあなたに何をしてくれましたか？
子供たちはあなたに何をしてくれましたか？あげる。私はの棒にネクタイをあげた。私はの坊さんにネクタイを買ってあげた。bought 買ってあげた。
私は信夫さんにネクタイを買ってあげました。
私は信夫さんにネクタイを買ってあげました。下げ慰めた。私は春子を慰めてあげた。僕は春子さんを慰めてあげた。
僕は春子さんを慰めてあげた。
僕は春子さんを 慰めてあげた。昨日夜遅く踊る代わりに今日一日中勉強するつもりです。勉強する。今日は夜遅く、今日は for tonight, tonight. 今日は夜遅くまで踊る代わりに明日は一日中勉強します。
今日は夜遅くまで踊る代わりに明日は一日中勉強します。
今日は夜遅くまで踊る代わりに一日中勉強します。Alright. Okay. 先生の代わりに教えた。先生の代わりに私が教えた。
先生の代わりに私が教えた。
先生の代わりに私が教えた。Okay. ビールの代わりに酒を買った。ビールの代わりに酒を買いました。
ビールの代わりに酒を買いました。
ビールの代わりに酒を買いました。私はよしこに花をあげた。よしこ ?Okay. 私はよしこに花をあげた。
私は涼子に花をあげました。
私は涼子に花をあげました。Okay, cool. At the 2-hour mark. Okay, I got 40, 40, and 40. The only thing left here is this 81. Alright, let's do it. Onaka or Onaka.
お腹、
Onaka. 明日映画を見に行く。明日映画を見に行く。
明日映画を見に行く。
明日映画を見に行く。から子犬大好きです。子犬はとっても好きです。
子犬はとても好きです。
子犬はとても好きです。みんな面白くない英語見ません。見ない？見ません。面白くない映画は見ません。
面白くない映画は見ません。
面白くない映画は見ません。先週映画を見たは面白かったです。先週に見た映画はとても面白かったです。
先週に見た映画はとても面白かったです。
先週に見た映画はとても面白かったです。明日大学に行きます。明日
大学に行きます。
明日大学に行きます。何昼ご飯はどこでもいい。昼ご飯はどこでもいいです。どこでも。
昼ご飯はどこでもいいです。
Yeah, when you have question verbs attached with particles, that starts changing stuff. Oh, let me Let's go see. Continue playing. Okay. Alrighty. Cool. Let's go a couple more. 答え
答え
答えごめん
ごめん
ごめんいっぱい
いっぱい
いっぱい言う
言う
言うなみ言わないそう言った言わない言う言った言わない言わなかった言って言った言って質問
質問
質問ちょっと
ちょっと
ちょっと何もここにあるレストランはどれも OK ここのレストランはどれも美味しくない
ここにあるレストランはどれも美味しくない。
ここにあるレストランはどれも美味しくない私の名前はアリス私の名前はアリス
私の名前はアリス
子犬
子犬
母お母さん
母
母 Okay, cool. Do a couple more you.
これは本物のダイヤモンドです。
これは本物のダイヤモンドです。本物。これは本物のダイヤモンドです。
彼が外国に行くのを見送りました。
彼は外国に行くのを見送りました。彼は外国に行く、彼は外国に行くのを見送りました。見送る。新年。Literally New Year.
新年
明けましておめでとう。連れて行く。連れて行く。
連れて行く
連れて行く。
話のポイントを書き取った
話のポイントを書き取った。書き取り。話のポイントを書き取った。交番。
交番
温まる。温まる。中心。台所。台所。パーティー。
パーティー
Okay, next. Cool. Let's do one more. Koban. Oh, でも番号番号番号 OK 番号
番号、
番号荷物荷物荷物
荷物、
荷物消して消して消し消して Sure 消して消して God damn it 消して忘れないで消してshould be 消して should be that one 消して something burning 消して忘れないでくれ
決して
それを消して忘れない。都市都市
都市
都市不便
不便、
便利不便企業企業企業
企業、
企業ラジオラジラジオラジオ
ラジオ、
ラジオ醤油醤油 Now there, I don't know the word. I didn't know the word. I'm pretty sure. But I remembered I did the sentence, but also I did this right there. So I'm just kind of mentioning that offhand. But again, I'm going to take it as a pass. Show you. I know if I saw it, I know what it means. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm guessing.
所有
Show you. In fact, I did know what it meant because, again, when I saw the sentence, when I heard the sentence. 知らせる知らせる
知らせる、
知らせる
会議で書類を配った。
会議で書類を配った配る会議で書類を配った Okay, cool. What else we got? 62. Let's keep going. Probably gonna have to close the windows. It's getting a little nippy here. In fact, let me do that real quick. What is it right now? 2 hours 12? Still got enough coffee. I don't have to worry about that. But yeah. Alrighty. Now it's a beautiful day, but since the sun's not shining on the windows directly now, it's I'm just getting a cooler breeze through here, and get a little too nippy. Not too bad, just whatnot. I don't think you get too tired. If it gets too warm, you get tired. They don't want that either. Let's turn that on. Alrighty. Okay. Let's keep going. Got a couple people still watching or listening. Okay. What do we got? Let's see, 20, 60. We'll do Taikim. Yeah, so I'll probably just finish up with the reviews here and then call it a day for right now. I do know I need to get into Taikim lesson. What was that lesson supposed to be? 42. Got to finish that off as well. Okay, let me redundant argument. So Niju keigo. Say Nagasaku. You're studying like every day. It is so nice. Yep. Niju keigo. 20敬語
20敬語
20敬語知るhonorific ご存知
ご存知
ご存知あげる差し上げる OK
差し上げる
差し上げる拝見する拝見する
拝見する
拝見する いただく。That doesn't say. いただく。
いただく。
いただく。申し訳ありません。申し訳ありません。
申し訳ありません。
申し訳ありません。お手洗い。お手洗い。手洗い。
お手洗い。
お手洗い。おしゃれ。おしゃる。おっしゃる。
おっしゃる。
おっしゃる。存じる。
存じる。
存じる。潜水場。水洗場。水洗場。
水洗場。
水洗場。Okay. Um, 恐縮です。
恐縮です。
恐縮です。ござる。
ござる。
ござる。ございます。音読み。
音読み。
音読み。訓読み。
訓読み。
訓読み。よろしい。よい、よろしい。
よろしい。
よろしい。よろしくお願いします。恐れ入ります。恐れ入ります。
恐れ入ります。
恐れ入ります。店内。
店内。
店内。いらっしゃる。
いらっしゃる。
いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃる。to look, to hold on.預かる。預かる。
預かる。
預かる。ああ、くださる。
くださる。
ください。Okay. What we got? Let's go back to here.
学校に忘れ物をしました。
学校に忘れ物をしました。学校に学校に忘れ物をしました。
彼女の家には物がたくさんあります。
彼女の家には物がたくさんあります。彼女の家には物がたくさんあります。
この荷物の重さを測ってください。
この荷物の重さを測ってください。この荷物の重さを測ってください。広がる。広がる。
広がる。
広がる。郵便。 郵便
郵便、
郵便品物
品物、
品物可能シャイト能力
能力、
able to do. Okay. Fair
能
enough.
力、
能力能力
私の会社はあのビルの8階です。
私の会社はあのビルの8階です。私の会社はあのビルの8階です。
彼女は荷物をまとめて出て行った。
彼女は荷物をまとめて出て行った。まとめる。彼女は荷物をまとめて出て行った。
彼は新聞配達をしている。
彼は新聞配達をしている。配達。彼は新聞配達をしている。能力。
能力、
能力。
能力、
能力。
駅に友人の見送りに行きました。
駅に友人を見送りました。見送り。駅に友人の見送りに行きました。友人の見送りに。見送り。ビール。ビール。ビール。ビール。
ビール、
ビール。
私は冒険の物語が大好きです。
私は冒険の物語は大好きです。私は冒険の物語が大好きです。
重大な発表があります。
重大な発表があります。重大な発表があります。郵便屋。I think it's son. 郵便屋。son. 郵便屋さん。郵便屋さん。
郵便屋さん、
I don't like the san being on it. It sounds more, I think it's more childlike, kind of like Omowari-san. Maybe. News. News.
ニュース、
News.
皆で東京見物をした。
みんなで東京見物をした。見物。みんなで東京見物をした。見物。可能。There we go. That's the actual one, yeah.
可能、
可能。すごい。すご
都合、
い。行かなかった。
これを彼に届けてください。
これを彼に届けてください。届ける。Sorry. これを彼に届けてください。Okay, that's good. Where are we at right now? About 2:30. Do a couple of these. Hmm. あなたはベキさんに何をもらいました？聞 君はベックさんに何をしてもらいました何をしてもらいました
君はベックさんに何をしてもらいましたか？
君はベックさんに何をしてもらいましたか？父は僕にカメラを買ってくれた。父は私にカメラを買ってくれました。
父は私にカメラを買ってくれました。
父は私にカメラを買ってくれました。Okay. あなたは母さんに何をしてあげました？君はお母さんに何をしてあげましたか？
君はお母さんに何をしてあげましたか？
君はお母さんに何をしてあげましたか？僕のパーティーは不便な代わりに家賃が安い。僕のアパートは不便な代わりに家賃が安い。
僕のアパートは不便な代わりに家賃が安い。
僕のアパートは不便な代わりに家賃が安い。小野さんは山本さんに本をあげた。小野さんは、小野さんは山本さんに本をあげた。
大野さんは山本さんに本をあげた。
大野さんは山本さんに本をあげた。ビルさんはあなたに何をあげた？何をくれた？ビルは君に何をくれましたか？
ビルは君に何をくれましたか？
ビルは君に何をくれましたか？川村さんは僕の娘にレコードをくれた。川村さんは私の娘にレコードをくれた。
川村さんは私の娘にレコードをくれた。
川村さんは私の娘にレコードをくれた。And I think what I'm needing to start doing now, I haven't been doing this in the past, but I need to just make it a habit of, especially for the grammar sentences, is repeat it after it's been spoken. I can't do that on the app, like on the mobile, because the audio would just be cut off immediately for some reason. I don't know why, especially if I don't know why. It's neither here nor there, but yeah, just make it a habit. お母さんは私に本をくれた。お母さんは私に本をくれた。
大川さんは私に本をくれました。
大川さんは私に本をくれましたか？くれました。田中さんはスミスさんに本を貸してあげた。田中さんはスミスさんに本を貸してあげた。
田中さんはスミスさんに本を貸してあげた。
田中さんはスミスさんに本を貸してあげた。貸してあげた。あんたはアンに何をあげた？君はアンに何をあげましたか？
君はアンに何をあげましたか？
That's good. Cool. I want to do another set. Yeah, one more set. Johnson さんは鈴木さんに日本語を教えてもらっている。ジョンソンさんは鈴木さんに日本語を教えてもらっている。
ジョンソンさんは鈴木さんに日本語を教えてもらっている。
ジョンソンさんは鈴木さんに日本語を日本語を教えてもらっている。もらった。私は父にカメラを買ってもらった。私は父にカメラを買ってもらった。
私は父にカメラを買ってもらいました。
私は父にカメラを買ってもらいました。Okay. 私は山本さんに本をもらいました。私は山本さんに本をもらった。
私は山本さんに本をもらいました。
私は山本さんに本をもらいました。木村さんは大野さんに車を貸してもらった。木村さんは大野さんに車を貸してもらった。
木村さんは大野さんに車を貸してもらった。
木村さんは大野さんに車を貸してもらった。私は友達に来てもらいました。私は
友達に来てもらった。
私は友達に来てもらった。大岡さんは僕の息子に違いますと。大岡さんは僕の息子に英語を教えてくれている。大岡さんは私の息子に英語を教えてくれている。
大川さんは私の息子に英語を教えてくれている。
大岡さんは僕の息子に英語を教えてくれている。教えてくれている。母さんは僕にケーキを焼いてくれた。お母さんは私にケーキを焼いてくれた。
母は私にケーキを焼いてくれた。
母さんは私にケーキを焼いてくれた。焼いてくれた。くれた。そう。母は私にケーキを焼いてくれた。山川さんは橋本さんにウイスキーをもらった。山川さんは橋本さんにウイスキーをもらった。
山川さんは橋本さんにウイスキーをもらった。
山川さんは橋本さんにウイスキーをもらった。日曜は私を慰めてくれた。慰めてくれた。日曜は私を慰めてくれた。
道夫は私を慰めてくれた。
日曜は私を慰めてくれた。君はモリスさんに何をもらった？Oh, sorry. Got a little distracted. Sorry about that. あなたはモリスさんに何をもらったの？
あなたはモリスさんに何をもらったの？
あなたはモリスさんに何をもらったの？Let's see, 18 more. Let's see. Alrighty, what do we got? Um, Ukeru.
受ける。
受ける。本物。
本物。
本物。
毎朝通学に1時間かかる。
毎朝数学に1時間かかる。毎朝数学に1時間かかる。
うちの猫が子猫を産みました。
うちの猫が子猫を産みました。I like how that neko is there. Anyway, that's a...
私たちは教会で結婚式をしました。
私たちは結婚... Wait a minute.
私たちは教会で結婚式をしました。
私たちは教会で結婚式をしました。教会。私たちは教会で結婚式をしました。
彼は金持ちです。
彼は金持ちです。金持ち。彼は金持ちです。強さ。
強さ。
強さ。
私はその番組をビデオに撮った。
私はその番組をビデオに撮った。私はその番組をビデオに撮った番組。届ける。届ける。Come on.
届ける。
届ける。
野菜がよく育っている。
野菜がよく育っている。育つ。野菜がよく育っている。
いい方法を思いつきました。
いい方法を思いつきました。いい方法を思いつきました。
弟はアイスクリームが大好きです。
弟はアイスクリームが大好きです。弟はアイスクリームが大好きです。見送る。見送る。見送る。見送り。
見送る。
番。
番。
番。重さ。
重さ。
重さ。集める。なんだ。まとめる。まとめる。まとめる。
まとめる。
まとめる。ビル。
ビル。
ビル。建物。
夏はビールがとても美味しい。
夏はビールがとても美味しい。
私はダンスを習っています。
私はダンスを習っています。習おう。私はダンスを習っています。私はダンスを習っています。忘れ物。忘れ物。忘れ物。
忘れ物。
忘れ物。Okay, good. Starting to get up there.
Okay. Keep going. Okay, what do we got? One more and then I'll worry about. Got 100 or so left, but some of these are going to start getting higher, a little higher and higher. That's going to happen.
勘弁
勘弁してよ。勘弁。
かかる
かかる。電気代かからない。
および
および。当社および当社商品にも。
余計
余計なこと。
違約金
違約金。for contract breach. 違約金。
What?
What? Okay, let's get rid of that.
優秀
優秀な社員です。優秀。お兄さん、選んで優秀な社員です。
禁止だし。
どうせご冗談を。ただの家電製品です。
どうせご冗談を。ただの家電製品です。
なんで動いてるんですか？
動力は電気。
動力は電気。は？
試し
試し期間。試し。
修理完了しました。
修理完了しました。もう早く隠れて。
当社及び当社商品に関し他言されますと嫌。
当社及び当社商品。当社及び当社商品に関し他言されますと、当社及び当社商品に関し他言されますと、
当社及び当社商品に関し他言されますと嫌。
当社商品に関し他言されますと、当社及び当社商品に関し。
どう？似合ってる？
どう？似合ってる？似合ってわけないじゃん。
まっすぐ扱う
使わないで。乱暴に扱わないで。
絶対出てこないで。あんたはトイレで寝て。
絶対出てこないで。あんたはトイレで寝て。絶対出てこないで。あんたはトイレで寝て。
やだ、何これ。
やだ、何これ。やだ、これもう何？やだ、何これ。やだ、これもう何？
一番
I think I can actually.
一番
もう勘弁してよ。
勘弁してよ。勘弁してよ。悪夢。Is that everything? See more? Probably would try to do like Masu. I should have, it doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. But yeah, the spacing on these are getting to be 180 days because of how long it's been since I reviewed them or learned them. Okay, so that should be down to roughly 20 per. The rest of these has about 100 or so left to review. That'll be half hour or so. Let's see, getting some that are building up here like that. But again, that's not a major problem. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let me just take a quick break, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to get some more coffee and again, a little bit more water. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty, cool. And what do we got? Now let's see. Good aim. Oh, the hundreds, that's right. Alrighty. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay. Alright, cool. Alrighty, looks good. Alright, again, just kind of do a quick little, see if get it. I think if I go to Japan Circle Jerk, there are going to be some people saying, let's see, is learning how to speak Japanese difficult? Interesting. It's actually kind of a question I'm interested in. Let's see. Okay. Tomeru, yameru, tomeru. Well, they should be listed separately. Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, resign, retire, and this is like to stop some. Todomeru? Tomeru. To stop. Okay, that looks good. Let's see. I don't know what it says. Seems like a legit question. Like, how long do you think it takes to learn Japanese? I mean, why is he asking? Because that may help, like, why go into a detailed thing about which is a simple question? Start learning and find out. You have to find. Yeah, okay. Whatever. All right. And whatnot. Okay, cool. And plenty of interest. And how many people here went with remember the kanji? You memorize kanji. Okay. I'll answer that. I used RTK when I first started learning Japanese. It helped a lot once I began to learn vocabulary and grammar. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. So again, not too much left. Just gotta finish this up and call it a day. Then probably tomorrow, since I'll be caught up on reviews, most likely I'll be able to then start completing the Tai Kim and Dictionary of Japanese Grammar. And after that, I actually need to start working on. Then I'll also work on vocabulary as well, which will be its own separate thing. But again, just do an hour to two of, again, recording those videos first before everything else, and then just treat that as if that's a pet project and not compared to the learning, or the learning part. Okay, let's see. All right, what do I want? I want to do, you, sure. Toreta, toreru.
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 彼は海外で教育を受けました。
彼は海外で教育をしました。受けました。OK。彼は海外で教育を受けました。教育。
うちの息子は来年小学生になります。
うちの息子は来年小学生になります。うちの息子は来年小学生になります。
彼は就職試験を受けた。
彼は就職試験を受けた。就職試験。就職試験を受けた。employment 就職。
その椅子を持ってきてください。
その椅子を持ってきてください。持ってきてください。その椅子を持ってきてください。持ってきてください。持ってくる。大変、重要、体重、
10代。
10代 is backwards. 10代な。Fair enough.
10代。
10代。
椅子の数を数えてください。
椅子の数を数えてください。椅子の数を数える。数えてください。物語。源氏物語。
物語。
10代。
10代。シャツのボタンが取れた。
シャツのボタンが取れた。取れる。シャツのボタンが取れた。10代。
10代。
これは重要な書類です。
これは重要な書類です。これは重要な書類です。重要な。10代。金持ち。
ネジは左に回すと外れます。
ネジは左に回すと外れます。ネジは左に回すと外れます。
このシャツはアイロンが必要だ。
このシャツはアイロンが必要だ。このシャツはアイロンが必要だ。シャツ。
彼女は絵がなかなか上手です。
彼女は絵がなかなか上手です。なかなか。
彼女は絵がなかなか上手です。
彼女は絵がなかなか上手です。
彼女はアメリカの企業で働いています。
彼女はアメリカの企業で働いています。彼女はアメリカの企業で働いています。はい。はい、バツ。はい、バツ。配達。配達。配達。
配達。
配達。書き取る。書き取る。
書き取る。
書き取る。
このセーターはウールだ。
このセーターはウールだ。
土産に日本酒をもらった。
土産に日本酒をもらった。お土産。お土産。土産。Usually it's お土産。土産。土産に日本酒をもらった。
彼は何年も地震の研究をしている。
彼は何年も地震の研究をしている。何年も。彼は何年も地震の研究をしている。地震の研究を研究。Okay, that's good. Oh man, how are we doing? Did everything? Yep. All right, let's do it. Finish it all up. 昨日友達が遊びに来た。昨日友達が遊びに来た。
昨日友達が遊びに来た。
昨日友達が遊びに来た。すみません。
すみません。
すみません。料理。
料理。
ガールフレンド。ガールフレンド。
ガールフレンド。
ガールフレンド。鈴木。
鈴木。
鈴木。クッキー。クッキー。
クッキー。
クッキー。みんなさん。みんなさん。
皆さん。
皆さん。知る。
知る。
知る。お母さん。
お母さん。
お母さん。ここ。
ここ。
ここ。Keep going. イタリア料理を食べに行く？すみません、お腹がちょっと空いた。ちょっといっぱい。お腹がちょっといっぱい。ちょっとお腹がいっぱいです。イタリア料理を食べに行きませんか？すみません、ちょっとお腹がいっぱいです。
イタリア料理を食べに行きませんか？すみません。ちょっとお腹がいっぱいです。
イタリア料理を食べに行きませんか？すみません。お腹がちょっとお腹がいっぱいです。 遅れる遅れる
遅れる
遅れる部長課長
課長
課長、この中で選んでください。一つ、この中からどれかを選ぶの。この中からどれかを選ぶの。どれか。
この中からどれかを選ぶの。
どれかを選ぶかな。昨日食べた忘れた。食べたか忘れた。昨日何を食べたか忘れた。
昨日何を食べたか忘れた。
昨日何を食べたか忘れた。そんなは何や something like that。 何かある？何かありますか？何かそんなのは何かあるかよ？あるの？あるかよ？あるの？そんなのはあるの？そんなのはあるの？
そんなのはあるの？
そんなのはあるの？わかる？
わかる。
わかる。本当はそんなに食べるの？こんなのを本当に食べるか？こんなのを本当に食べるか？
こんなのを本当に食べるか？
こんなのを本当に食べるか？先生に学校に行ったかどうか知らない。知らない。先生が学校に行ったか行かなかったの。先生が学校に行ったかどうか知らない。行ったかどうか。
先生が学校に行ったかどうか知らない。
行ったかどうか知らない。今週末。Okay, Akagami says, hello, Nuke. Glad I'm able to make it into today's stream. Hey, welcome. Just finish up the last set of reviews. Let's see. Okay, so basically trying to catch up on what built up from yesterday. So we're already past the 3-hour mark. Let's see. Let's see, 22 vocabularies here.
エレベーターで下に降りましょう。
エレベーターで下に降りましょう。エレベーターで下に降りましょう。エレベーター。
私はよく図書館を利用します。
私はよく図書館を利用します。利用。
彼はマンションに住んでいます。
彼はマンションに住んでいます。マンション。large apartment house, okay. マンションに住んでいます。研究。
この本は全然面白くなかった。
この本は全然面白くなかった。 なかなか。
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 ボールをこっちに投げてください。
ボールをこっちに投げてください。投げる。投げ。ボールをこっちに投げてください。教育。教育。
教育。
教育。セーター。セーター。
セーター。
セーター。
彼女が怒るのも
Kinkyou
当然
means
だ。
study. Kind of like a research, like scientific research, Kinkyou. Akami asked if Kinkyou means study. Okay.
彼女が怒るのも当然だ。
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 彼女が怒るのも当然だ。Okay.
合計金額を計算してください。
合計金額を計算してください。合計金額。合計金額。合計金額。合計金額を計算してください。計算。練習。練習。
練習。
練習。配う。配う。配る。配る。配っています。配る。配る。Does it say? It is. Okay. 配ります。配る。
配る。
配る。
風の強さに驚きました。
風の強さに驚きました。驚きました。驚く。驚きました。風の強さに驚きました。Kind of wonder about this. Let me make sure. I know it's Miyage, but do something real quick. Oh, Miyage. Save. I guess that makes sense, but about hiding is what I'm looking at. Okay. Okay, cool. Alrighty. No, it's still gotta be Miyage. Miyage.
土産。
土産。便利。
便利。
便利。
彼女は当時まだ3歳だった。
彼女は当時まだ3歳だった。当時。彼女は当時まだ3歳だった。アイスクリーム。アイスクリーム。Now, ice is also
アイスクリーム。
You'll hear ice as ice cream.
新しい法律ができた。
新しい法律ができた。法律。法律。新しい法律ができた。習慣。習慣。習慣。
習慣。あれから14年が経ちました。
あれから14年経ちました。あれから14年が経ちました。
あの会社の規則は厳しいです。
あの会社の規則は厳しいです。あの会社の規則は厳しいです。規則。規則。Okay, good. I'll save the kanji for last, just for S and G's. Okay. こちら。
こちら、
こちら。願おう。
願う。
願う。会。
会、
会。Interesting. なさる。なさいます。なさい。
なさる、
なさる。Supposed to be most? Okay, humble.
申し上げる、
申し上げる。Okay, Akigami says, Nuke, what does Kochira say mean? I think mean Kochira. We mean Kochira say or Kochira? I've heard Kochira. Kochira say. Yeah, Kochira say. Not sure. I mean, I could type it in and then find out. Let's see. Next. Moshiageru. Okay. ご覧ください。
ご覧ください。
ご覧ください。言い訳。
言い訳、
言い訳。神様。
神様、
神様。どちら。
どちら。
どちら。コス。コス。
こす。
こす。そう、申し上げる。Oh, okay, that's the difference. This to state. That's the key thing right there. To state. 申し上げる。はっきり申し上げます。
申し上げる、
申し上げる。申し上げる。
申し上げる、
申し上げる。Okay, cool. Forgot that difficult. 申し上げる。
申し上げる、
申し上げる。Okay, good. あげる。Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it should be to be.
くれる。
くれる。餌。餌。
餌。
餌。餌。もらおう。
もらう。
もらおう。チェック。
チェック。
チェック。ご覧になる。
ご覧になる。
ご覧になる。Sorry about that. All right. To give, to raise. あげる。
あげる。
あげる。 かしる。かす。
貸す、
かす。かわり。
代わり、
かわり。やる。
やる。
やる。伺う。
伺う、
伺う。Come on. We're getting there. Let's see. That's going to keep adding up a little bit more. I'm not going to sweat it too much. All right, let's do this part. Nobu.
のぶお、
Nobu. Whiskey. Whiskey.
ウイスキー、
Whiskey. もっとたくさん。
もっとたくさん、
もっとたくさん。あん。
あん、
ワーカ
ウォーカ
ー。ワーカー。It should just be a name, family name. I should have. Anyway. 橋本。
ー、橋本、
橋本。ピンポン。ピンポン。
ピンポン、
ピンポン。悔しい。It's a little different than 苦しい, but 悔しい。
悔しい、
悔しい。道を。
道を、
道を。すると。
すると、
すると。Yeah, when you hear noise from the TV, because again, it's Arrow, so it gets to the action scenes and whatnot. And it's the first season of Arrow, so it's actually a really damn good. That and season 2 were just amazing. When he was a bit more he was more violent. Odoru.
踊る、
Odoru. To comfort. 慰める。慰める。
慰める、
慰める。モリス。モリス。
モリス、
モリス。木村。
木村、
木村。それでは。
それでは、
それでは。すると。それでは。それで。それで。
それで、
それで。夜遅く。夜遅く。
夜遅く、
夜遅く。Yoko should be also Yoshiko, but Yoko.
涼子、
Yoko. Cool. That's all done. Wow, this is let's see, 3 hours 20 minutes. That's not too bad. Let's see, do this and do the kanji thing.
見た目が人間らしいので勘違いされる気持ちもわかりますが、ただの
見た目が人間らしいので、見た目が人間らしいので、勘違いされる 見た目が人間らしいので勘違いされる気持ちもわかりますか？見た目が人間らしいので勘違いされる気持ちわかりますか？
見た目が人間らしいので勘違いされる気持ちもわかりますが、ただの
勘違いされる気持ちも勘違いされる見た目が人間らしいので勘違いされる気持ちもわかりますが、勘違いされる気持ちが
わかりますが、ただの優れた家電製品です。
ただの
お客さん
優れた家電製品です。ただの優れた家電製品です。ただの優れた家電製品です。
日韓日韓
日韓 time days, daily time and days. And again, what had happened when first time I did this, when I was making these vocabulary sentences, I based it all out in Google Translate. What I did from the second episode, and what I'll do from now on, is I'll base it off what they have is EP Wing to Anki, and I'll use that. So EP Wing dictionary, and use like the first two or three examples of that definition if available, and hopefully related, and if possible, then also related to the story itself. But and this is like, actually this should be deleted, I'll be honest, because it's actually itsuka kan, or 5 days, so it was related to that part, but it's alright.
5日間は無料お試し期間です。
So right there, it's 5日間は無料でお試し期間です。5日間は無料でお試し期間です。
困ります。だいたいここ同棲禁止だし。
どうせ
困ります。大体ここ同棲禁止だし。大体ここ同棲禁止だし。
ここらへん
テレビ君と同棲してるのですか？
いえ。
テレビ君と同棲してるのですか？
いえ。似合ってるわけないじゃん。
似合ってるわけないじゃん。似合ってるわけないじゃん。わけない。似合っている？
伊沢リー子ですけど。伊沢
リーコ中入れてよ。
リーコ中入れたよ。リーコ中入れたよ。見えん。中入れたよ。
フルーツ当てる
OK。 当てる。
そんなことよりこれなんで動いてるんですか？
そのことよりこれなんで動いてるんですか？そんなことよりこれなんで動いてるんですか？
乱暴
扱わないで。
行くのは君だけ。
行くのは君だけ。
ほら早く入って。
まずい。ほら早く吐いて。まずい。
すっごい
てるからさ。
宗師、今度の新作発表会大丈夫な？
宗 そうし、今度の新作発表会、大丈夫なんだろうな。大丈夫なんだろうな。今度の新作発表会、大丈夫なんだろ
我々
う。我々。Cool. All right. That's it for that. I think that's near everything. Whew. So it's about a couple hours worth of studying right there. Let's see what else popped up. Take care of this real quick. Meshiagaru.
召し上がる。
Meshiagaru. Okay. Should be orosu.
おろす。
読書。私の趣味は読書です。
読書。
Okay. All right, let's do it. Okay, you close you all. Come here. About there should do it. Something like that. And spicy. Oh, wrong thing. Spicy. Delete that. This is karai or something like that. So it's again just kind of like also spicy. Standing vase with 10 herbs and spices. Spicy. It's supposed to be, yeah, karai. Wall, kabe. Alright, so that's the guard. And what is he doing? He's guarding a wall, which is protecting the ground from kabe. Poison. Alright, so that's the... some reason I'm thinking it has to be with... that's Ichigo. Huh. Drawing a blank. Oh, okay. There we go. Wow, okay. Alrighty. Feels like I gotta do it that way. It feels like it's mother. Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. Not sure why I was worried about that. Just that, anyway. Evade. Okay. Again, that's the... I'm gonna evade the guard Evade. Evade. Sakeru. Happiness. Shiawase na happy. 10. Is the dirt with the little pet coat? No, that was wrong. There, that's happy. Shiawase. Resign. Alright, so that's the tongue. Spicy. Like if you look at all the parts of that, that's like 1,000 mouth, stand, and that's 10. Yameru. Detach. Okay, so that's the Haneru. Hareru. Hanareru. Hanarete. Hanareru. Land. Riku. Riku. Okay, so this is the land of hobbits. Riku. Engrave. That's the acorn. Engrave with the saber. Kizamu. Kizande. Kizamu. Okay. Kill. Kurosu. So that means the tree getting tossed like a missile to kill. Okay. Kurosu. Kurosu. Satsu. And satsu. Alrighty. Elementary. Alright, so that's the Alice and Venom in elementary school. Elementary. This is so. Genzo. So. Okay. Principal naked. Enroll. Okay, so it means when you roll, you gotta put the name on the bamboo sticks and then think of the Christmas tree. And then it's just how you did it a long time ago. This is Koseki. Okay. Not quite sure why I'm still wearing the earphones. Genuine. Alright, so again, I just think of Spider-Man as and Earthworm Jim as genuine superheroes for some reason. Not quite sure. Anyway. Junsui. Surplus. Okay, that's an army surplus. So 1, 2, boom. Riding jeep and the surplus swords. Refined. For some reason I'm thinking of refined, so it's have to do with refined rice. It has to do with blue, the Smurfs. Maybe create refined rice. The Gargamel once. Say mitsu. Mention. Honorable mention. It should be. For some reason I feel like it's this one. Noberu. Noberu. Forces. Oh yeah, so we got the forces of the Shire and the forces of baseball, Fat Baseball, Babe Ruth, and also the forces of comic books, so Superman. Okay, forces. Pledge. Alright, so that's the verbal, that's Alice of Return to Madness and her verbal blade, and she's pledging to, instead of the Cheshire Cat, is to the something dog. Pledge. And this is Keaku. Lame. Not quite sure. It has something to do with Alice and SpongeBob being blamed. Still think there should be a better story for that. Condemn. Bosom. Okay, so that's the, think of breast, so think of the part of the body that you have to bind up to protect from villains. Okay. Mune. Getting there. Pure. Think of water that's pure. What am I saying? Pure. Pure blue from the Smurfs. Pure blue water. Kiyoi. Kiyomeru. Say. Okay. Pure. Right there. I guess I could think of blame as being snorkels. The snorkels. The problem is, nobody knows what the hell the snorkels are anymore. You're like, watch cartoons in the 80s. Exploits. So in this case, Spider-Man and the exploits of the snorkels underwater, I don't know. But yeah, exploits. So this is let's see, Seki. Okay, Seki. Exploits. Unreal. Volume. Alrighty, so the volume of wheat can be blamed on what's been grown, or what you paid for, I guess. Sumori. Diligence. Stomeru. So that means, so I want to do Cabbage Patch dolls. Oh. Okay. Oh. 3. Then we got Superman. I don't trust that. Diligence right there. I don't trust E. Come here. Stroke order. Yeah, it is that line. Okay. I should have known better. Alright, anyway. That is you. That should be everything, right? Undefiled. Okay, so that's... Think of... There's with Alice in the verbal blade. She's undefiled. Which means that who was trying to defile her was maybe Venom. Undefiled. Ketsu, ketsu. Right there. Bond. Okay, so when Batman was to blame for the crimes in Gotham, he had to pay a bond to get out in jail or something like that. What is this? Sigh. Okay. Harm. Okay, so that means this the harm Alice caused when she grew up in the house and maybe started putting food in her mouth, started growing big. Harm. Higai. Hoshi. It's the sun. It's like stars just look like cells of suns. Hoshi. This is sei. Eisei. Sunlight. Okay, cool. Okay. Alright. Really? One more? Alright, fine. Let's do it. Just for S&Gs. Quiet. Shizuka na. Shizuka shite kudasai. Right there. Okay. I think that is... There might be some more popping up. I just probably should just call it quits because it's like 3 hours 42 minutes. Might as well turn up my earphones. Alrighty. Suwatte kudasai. Suwari nasai. Koku ni suwari nasai.
ここに座りなさい。
ここに座りなさい。ゆっくり話してください。ゆっくり話してください。
ゆっくり話してください。
ゆっくり話してください。それを食べるな。それを食べるな。
それを食べるな。
それを食べるな。消しゴム貸してくれ。消しゴム貸してくれ。
消しゴムを貸してくれ。
消しゴムを貸してくれ。父さんがくれた時計が、父さんが時計をくれた。お父さんがくれた時計が壊れた。父さんがくれた時計が壊れた。
お父さんがくれた時計が壊れた。
父さんがくれた時計が壊れた。日本語で話してください。話して。日本語で話して。
日本語で話して。
日本語で話して。日本語で話してくれ。日本語で話してくれ。
日本語で話してくれ。
それをください。
それをください。
それをください。遠いところへ、遠いところへ行かないでくれ。Something like that. Yeah, there it is. 遠いところに行かないで。遠いところに行かないでくれ。
遠いところに行かないでくれ。
遠いところに行かないでくれ。それをください。くれない？それをくれない？くれる？それをくれる？
それをくれる
それをくれる Okay. Let's see what we got. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Got some more coming here. So let's see, 85% done with Teikims, and 80% done with the Dictionary of Basic Japanese Grammar, both those part 3. So again, keep sooner or later gotta get back into that, and also be moving into vocabulary. Next set of those, do one episode of Zettai Karashi, which will take about 10 hours, and do another set of grammar and vocabulary would take about 30 hours. Yeah. So one last episode of Zettai Karashi, and then boom, done. Moving on into intermediate sections. So that would, like I said, I mean, I can imagine right now I'm getting close to finishing up with this whole basic section and whatnot. We've got somebody, so yeah. And like I said, in 6 months, hopefully in August or whatnot, find out how well this is all going. If I've been making progress, or I've just been kind of like spinning my wheels or whatnot. It feels like I'm making progress. I mean, Japanese consumption seems to be becoming more and more easier, which is good. Although that means I also need to start making it for fun. Start trying to convince my wife that when we're watching TV shows, I want it in Japanese with Japanese subtitles, if at all possible. And I know she hates that or whatnot, but yeah, her English is better than my Japanese, and it's just one of those things, and I think I mentioned it before, it's like she thinks she's doing me favors by turning, like this happened way back years ago when I was, kind of like when I slowly got out of my wanting to learn Japanese mood, where she kept turning TV shows onto, she turned on to English pronunciation, so English audio, and then with Japanese subtitles. Because again, we started watching a lot more American shows again, and that was when I had stopped watching a lot of American shows because I was stationed in Japan. I didn't have access to the internet, so I didn't watch a lot of TV that way. You couldn't, and just whatever was on. And I didn't really care about watching whatever was playing on the AFN, whatever happened to be showing, especially when people were underway and whatnot. But yeah, this got out of. I was just watching a lot of Japanese stuff at that time, even though it was Japanese with English subtitles early on, and then later on it was just Japanese straight. And I would even do that in Africa and whatnot. But yeah. Again, just kind of have to, especially when you're having to work with other people, is you got to be considerate on when you change your environment, because that's going to impact other people. Again, like I want to play audio at night. Well, that's going to obviously bother my spouse. So don't play audio at night, and it's very difficult to try to wear headphones to listen to it, because again, the headphones are either fall off or whatnot. It's just not a good idea. If it works for you, it does. So be it. Just the nature of some things which you change. But again, always watching Japanese is not a bad thing. And I think actually she didn't really care for dramas until I got her interested in Japanese dramas. She was mainly watching American shows, from what I understand, since those were more entertaining anyway than your average Japanese dramas. Although it turns out there are some good Japanese dramas, just not as the good ones that I don't think are at the quality of what you would see from the U.S. at the moment. There are a few, like I think the equivalent would have been like Ikebukuro Westgate Park was just an amazing series, and then Tiger and Dragon, again, an amazing series. Kizaratsu Cats, I really enjoyed that. Then there were some other dramas that were kind of fun that I had. The Zettai Karashi, it gets a little boring at the end, so I wouldn't even watch it till the end again, just because the first part's kind of entertaining. However much. So anyway, that's it for today. Let me just do a refresh, and maybe it'll be. Yeah, so this keeps adding on. I'll just leave that for tomorrow, whatnot. Like I said, I'm seeing at least on this part, I'm seeing the end, and because of that, part of me, it feels like I know why now. I'm going to create another study group, and it will be a separate study group than this one. So this will be the initial study group, and then I'll create one for intermediate, and that'll have all the intermediate courses. And again, that'll give somebody, you can at least see the end of the road. When you're on there, you'll see the end of the road. There's
halfway point, which you want to aim for, because that will be like the equivalent of being N3 level, and then there is a full point. Now you'll be at N2 level by the time that's all said and done. In addition to all the Japanese dramas that will be there. So it's just something that, yeah, will be there for me, and it's something I can share. Unlike what the guy who does Japanese in a year, what he's doing, he can't really share it because a lot of that is customized, or it's not customized. It's personalized to himself. What resonates with him, what was working with him, what he needed to know, and that's for him. And a lot of the studying for him was in creating those cards. If you don't do that, then you kind of miss out on the point of what Fluent Forever can do for you. But it is a good system. If you can get into it, definitely I would recommend it over even what I'm offering. I would definitely recommend the Fluent Forever system better as being more effective. It'll get you where you need to go a lot faster. But you have to it requires a lot from you as well. This is the system I have here for Memrise is it requires less effort on your part in the creation of the material, obviously. You don't, aside from maybe think of stories or trying to make whatever the mem notes needed to connect the pronunciation of words to, the meaning or whatnot. That's up to you. That's what you can personalize if you're having difficulties with it. But that's again, that unfortunately has to be on you. Other than that is it. I think I'll go browse. Before I log off, I'll go and browse, see if there's people talking in. Let's see, are there people talking? There is nobody talking. Okay, well, that solves that problem. Let's see, there is... Oh, that's all done. Okay. And we'll see if he'll allow it, but if they want to keep that sticky up there, that'd be kind of cool, and then... Alright, let's see, so that's all good. Let's just check go around the horn and see what else is left. Let's see, Japanese 1 course, asking me to type in Japanese, okay, differences in spelling, version, silent, humorize use troops. Yeah, if you're just joining up, I'm almost done with the stream, I'm about to sign off. I apologize. But if you got any questions or comments, now's a good time to make it. Yeah, I'm just doing my usual last minute checks on what people may or may not have posted or asked about. Okay, what do we got? Typing here on Windows 10. Is there anything new? Is learning how to speak Japanese difficult? Yes. Well, not difficult, just takes time. Shit's Monday. What is the meaning of the volitional form? Yo, daro, in written Japanese. It means let's do something. I think that's kind of like how you do it. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow. So right now I have 6 lessons down. So of the 19, I'm a third of the way through these video lessons. Okay. Tomorrow though is going to be a longer lesson. I think lesson 7 is going to be much longer. So that may just be 1 or 2 for tomorrow, depending on how the time goes. Yeah. So it's 11 plus 10, 21. Yeah, okay, around 1/3 or 25% of the way done so far. And once I'm going there, then I'll go back into being my usual study stuff. Yeah. Now I'll have to decide whether or not I want to bother making another video series for basic grammar or basic vocabulary. Again, part of me is like saying don't bother. There isn't that much to get into it. By the time you've finished Taiken basic grammar, you kind of, except for maybe the polite forms of the verbs that you're going to see in the vocabulary list, there's really not much you have to worry about. It's what's on the package. And anyway, that's just listening. When you see it in sentences, it's just about listening. All right, so let's leave it there. All right, so thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, consider giving the video a thumbs up if you had fun for the video. And we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.